Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Happy Monday, sports fans, sports hounds, back on track. Brad Ryer, back from Hawaii. Welcome back to the continental United States. Brad, the Eagles were not Super Bowl champions when you left. They are Super Bowl champions now. Philadelphia is still in a state of euphoria. Your thoughts, Brad?
What a game. What a game. I mean, that game was just a great game. From the Eagles got the early lead, and then the Patriots got the offense going, and they finally started getting the ball in the end zone. And then it got to a point where it was who was going to hold serve and who was going to break serve. And for the most part, Brady was holding serve. The Patriots got a lead. Then finally, the Eagles, when they had to, finally stopped them on that last drive. And that's how they won the game. And, you know, good job by the Eagles to do that, because Brady was really in the zone in the second half. I mean, they scored, 4 consecutive possessions?
Yeah, Brady was locked in. He threw for 500 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he was phenomenal in the second half. But you really got to give the Eagles credit, the offensive line in particular, for the way they were able to run the football. I mean, and how well they did as far as mixing it up. And the Patriots couldn't stop them either.
They're the better team, top to bottom.
They were.
Top to bottom better team. They did not have the better quarterback. Tom Brady outplayed Nick Foles, but it didn't matter. Malcolm Jenkins took out Brandon Cooks. The Patriots really didn't run the ball on
not
the
effectively.
Eagles at all.
Not effectively. Although with the Patriots, though, you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt, because their running game is the 5-yard pass. But all in all, though, I mean, the Eagles, they couldn't stop them at all. The Eagles' offensive line owned that game. And would have Malcolm Butler have made a difference? I don't know.
What's your thoughts on that? Because this guy's the best corner on the team. I mean, him or Gilmore or whatever, however you want to stack them. But I don't care how you slice it. Malcolm Butler is better than Eric Rowe.
Yeah, he is.
He played 0 defensive snaps.
Let me ask you this, okay? Did Jacksonville's offense kind of rip apart New England's defense the week before?
Yes.
Okay. Did Butler play?
He did.
Okay. Is the Eagles' offense significantly better than Jacksonville's offense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then that's my whole point. There's a little bit too much crying from New England about that. I mean, come on. You know what? You're going to sit there. You're going to start criticizing.
Well, that's what they did.
Bill Belichick.
They thought no chance in hell we're going to lose this game, and they went out. They got kicked in the teeth. When push came to shove, Brandon Graham and the Eagles' defensive line did what it did all year, and they forced a turnover.
They made a big play. New England's defense made one big play the entire game in the first half with the interception on the 8-yard line.
Right, and that was such a fluke play, too.
But that was it. I mean, when it really counted, when push came to shove, when the Eagles had to have the drive stopper, they got it. And New England, you know, I thought that when New England got the ball with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, I was thinking Joe Montana to Jerry Rice all over again.
Oh, everyone was nervous.
I mean, you know, you had to think.
Everyone was nervous in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
if any of the Eagles fans told you they weren't nervous in that situation, they're fucking liars.
From where I was in Hawaii, and I was at a sports bar in the airport in Honolulu, and I was able to watch the game. And there was a couple of Eagle fans there, but there were mostly Patriot fans there. And the arrogance and cockiness that they had when Brady got the ball, they're all sitting there rubbing their hands together. You could see them like salivating, like it's over. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, you still have to score, you know. And you know, I know you probably will, but you still have to score. You know what? It's not a field goal. You need a touchdown. And you know what? A lot of things can happen when you're trying to score a touchdown.
Like
you may
Brandon
be able to
Graham,
get down there.
Up the middle.
Exactly.
Forced fumble, first-round pick, Derek Barnett. I know
Falls
that
on the
didn't
ball.
win them the Super Bowl, but it sure as hell.
Oh, and listen, the Patriots
halfway buried the coffin.
The Patriots, that was their chance right there because they could have had the ball, they could have held on to it till like 20 seconds to go, and then start going for the end. Take their 4 plays, and try to go into the end zone. They could have tried to do that if they so desired to do that. But you got to give the Eagles credit. They did what they had to do, and basically that was the same theme when the Patriots played the Giants. Is that when a big play had to be made, the Patriots did not make it in either one of the games, and it just goes to prove one thing: if the other coach doesn't beat themselves, they beat the Patriots.
The Eagles took that game from the Patriots. 100%.
Exactly. And you know what? Doug Peterson did not make a dumb call to give the game away, a la Pete Carroll, a la, who's the coach of the Falcons again?
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, okay. A la Dan Quinn.
No,
there
Doug
no
Peterson
dumb...
did what he did the whole year.
Exactly.
Except for one game in Seattle. It was pedal to the fucking metal for 60 goddamn minutes. And the Eagles won the goddamn Super Bowl.
And you know
no
what else?
more shit from you about Eagles never winning.
Nope,
no more Eagles die. No more on the road to misery. It's fucking done. You're lucky you're not in a goddamn Eagles jersey right now, Brad.
Well, fortunately for me, I didn't make any bets because I would have probably bet something silly like wearing an Eagle hat during. Oh, I
You're
wasn't
lucky I'm not
scared.
making you get a tattoo.
Oh God.
You
Remember,
should.
Huh?
You should. Anyone who doesn't follow Brad on Facebook, go find and be his friend and look at what a hater, what a Philly hating crumb this guy is. 2 arrests at the parade, Brad. 2 arrests. 2.
What about the night that they won the Super Bowl? They had a few.
There were
then.
more arrests in Boston, from what I understand, on that night.
Boston's just as bad as they are.
They're all bad.
They're pretty bad.
They rioted
Boston.
in Denver when they won their Super Bowl. They rioted in Seattle when they won their Super Bowl. Baltimore was a train wreck when they won their Super Bowl. What do you think? No one rioted when the Yankees won their first?
Actually, they didn't.
Oh, of course, because
the
New York
doesn't.
is just
They
yeah.
don't,
The
they
Mecca.
actually
Yeah, I
don't.
bet.
They actually don't do that in New York.
Yeah, I bet.
Believe it or not, I'm not saying there's no crime in New York. There's plenty of crime in New York, but they don't seem to have those issues when their teams win. Probably because they've won so many that they know how to act. I mean, that's probably more than anything else. But let's get back to the gist of it. Okay, and yeah, a ton of fans.
So
at
we
that
got
parade.
the Scanzano Sports Poll question today. We're in the BMW Atlantic City Studios. Sports Hounds, Rob Brinkman, Brad Ryer, Frank the Tank Vesby, behind the glass on the 1s and 2s. So we got the poll question. Football's over. Yesterday was miserable. I didn't know what to do with myself. I watched my boy LeBron, who we'll get into later, absolutely shit on the Boston Celtics because he's the best basketball player in the world, bar none. But we got the poll question today. Where does your focus shift? We got the NHL, college basketball, the NBA, spring training is here as well. Brad, I'll kick it to you.
Well, mine is more on hockey. Because I'm a big hockey fan, as you know. Hockey and then spring training. And the NBA and the NCAAs are kind of third and fourth for me. As you know, I'm more of a baseball, hockey, football, and then basketball fan. Hockey this time of year starts getting real interesting because of all the all the trade rumors, and the intensity starts picking up on the ice. You start to see a lot more fights. A lot more injuries, a lot more crazy stuff starts happening. I mean, this is when it starts getting intense, and this is where it starts separating the men from the boys. And how about the Philadelphia Flyers?
How about the Philadelphia Flyers?
When I left here, they were
kind of down and out.
They were playing better, but they were still not in the playoffs. Now they are firmly entrenched in third place, and you got to give them credit. You know what? If you would have told me at the beginning of the year they would have 3 guys with over 50 points at this point of the season, I would have said you wouldn't have 3 guys over 50 points at the end of the season.
Couturier has been a madman all season. They beat the Las Vegas Knights. They had the most points in hockey, right?
Second most.
Second most points in hockey.
Yes,
they go into their
did.
building where they've only lost 3 times before last night.
Well, last night, they
smack the Vegas Knights 4-1.
Well, I will say this: it wasn't as much them smacking the Knights as much as the goaltender on the Flyers just standing on his head last night.
Win's a win.
Oh, no. Listen, that's how you would get. But, I mean, he was absolutely – and we've seen this from him before where he'll come out there and he'll give you 2. He's the kind of goalie when, it's a backup. he's great as a backup. He can come in there and he can give you 3, 4, 5 spectacular games. And boy, that was probably as well as he's played all season. I mean, he was spectacular yesterday.
All right, we got Big Greg Milikovic checking in. What up, fellas? Sixers playoff run will be in my attention, then March Madness, then hockey playoffs and MLB. They're all over as well. Keep an eye on. Mike Parker got the flu from the parade. That's dedication. Ryan Brodo checking in, filled in very admirably for you, Brad. It won't be the same without having football every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, but there's a ton of exciting things coming up in the sports world. It's March Madness for me, folks. I can't wait to have a bracket in my hand to fill it out. The Sixers are playing the Knicks right now, which is actually a lot closer than the experts anticipated. The game's probably at halftime right now.
Now we've got some on YouTube. It's Our Time Philly that it didn't matter about Butler. I kind of agree with that.
I don't know about that.
You know what?
I don't know about that.
I think Peterson is such a good coach. I think they would have found a way to win anyway. I mean, you can't cover everybody. They just would have thrown the ball more to Ertz. You know, I mean, that's kind of what they do. Let's see, it's Our Time Philly basketball and LeBron. The revamp. That's what he's rooting for, and he wants them to shit on Golden State next. Thank you for that. Bob Brinkman, Wall Street closes at 4 o'clock, and the fashion district does not care. Okay. And let's see, Edgar Venzer, only into football, going to start getting into the, come on now, cryptocurrencies. Now the football season.
What's that, Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? Do you know what this is, Frank? Bitcoins?
It's fake. It's fake money.
It's really weird money. I thought about investing in it, but knowing what's going on right now,
Very, very, very volatile.
I don't understand.
You
Someone
better
in one of
be
these
real
chats can
careful.
explain it to me.
And John D. Casanova, what do you think about losing Flip and Frank?
Interesting point. I will gladly trade a Super Bowl championship and give up my offensive coordinator and my quarterback's coach any day of the week. It's going to be fine.
It's
Doug
called,
Peterson.
You know what it's called? It's called cost of business.
Right.
When you win the Super Bowl, you start losing coordinators.
I mean, if Josh McDaniels wasn't such a baby and scared to leave Tom Brady, maybe we'd still have Frank Reich. But good for Frank Reich.
Listen, the
I'm
Giants,
happy for him. He got a 5-year deal for a lot of money, and the Colts went 4-12 last year, but they got Andrew Luck waiting in the wings. He's probably going to be successful there if Andrew Luck can be healthy.
Listen, the Giants lost Bill Belichick in 1990 after they won that second Super Bowl. That's what happens. They all want your coordinators.
As far as the offensive coordinator goes, Doug Peterson's the offensive coordinator along with the head coach.
Oh, absolutely.
Doug Peterson sets the strategy.
He calls
the plays. They just need a guy who's going to fall in line and not screw anything up. Coach the guys up and
and basically
take care of the little details during practice in the game that Doug Peterson misses.
Right.
As far as a QB coach, they said they were promoting within, and I had the guy's name here somewhere.
Well, I will say this:
that they're promoting from within.
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is great. I don't care
he's a
who's
coach's
coaching
dream. He's the first one there. He's the last one out.
But he did do a great job with Nick Foles.
He did a fantastic job with Nick Foles.
That's the guy who he did a great job with. Because
Doug Peterson did a great job. Frank Reich, they all did.
Nick Foles did a great job. Nick Foles is going to be playing a little bit next year too.
Probably
the first 4 or 5 games of the season.
Unless the Eagles are blown away with a first-round pick offer. I would trade Nick Foles for a first-round pick.
Oh, they'd be foolish not to.
Other than that, even a second-round pick. The
only problem is who's going to be your quarterback. First, you have to sign a free agent to be your quarterback for the first 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season. That would be number one.
Maybe he'll be ready. Maybe Wentz will be ready.
Well, that's asking a lot, though. I mean, he had 2 injuries in that knee. That's the only problem. But, I mean, listen, you never know. He's young. He could come back early.
All right, Deion Brown poll question. My focus will shift to the NFL Combine first. Keep an eye on my Sixers and watching film on all the top inside linebackers entering the draft. That is correct, Deion. The Eagles do need a little middle linebacker. I don't know if Jordan Hicks is ever going to be able to stay healthy. If Josh McDaniels doesn't screw the Colts over, maybe Frank Reich gets the job sooner, and then we can promote Flip to OC rather than him leaving for Minnesota. I mean, look, you can't just play games with these guys' careers. Like you can't.
No,
not.
you have to. You
Like
have
the
to allow
Vikings.
them to,
Like the Vikings, they blocked Shermer from taking their quarterback coach to be Shermer's offensive coordinator in New York, only to not give him the offensive coordinator job in the Vikings, and they bring Flip in from the Eagles to be that offensive coordinator. They just
Right.
cost him so much money. How much
Yeah.
more money you think an offensive coordinator makes? It's bullshit.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
wouldn't want to work for him.
That's just.
What are you kidding me?
That's
And then they don't
wrong to
have a
do that.
quarterback under contract. None of those three clowns are even under contract in Minnesota.
Yeah, I just wonder which one they're going to pick. I guess they'll probably pick Bridgewater.
Yeah, outside hire.
Now, you think they'll bring in Bridgewater? I mean, I would bring in Bridgewater if it was
I'd be
me.
hitting up Kirk Cousins' agent a lot if I was the Vikings.
You think they're going to spend the money on him, though? Here's the
You
thing.
got to
with
have a
Cousins.
quarterback.
No, I understand that, but I mean, Cousins. See, I think I'm in the camp that the Jets are going to end up with Cousins because they have so much more money than everybody else.
I don't know about that. Me and Brodo talked about it last week. I would put the betting favorite on the Denver Broncos. I don't think Elway's going to let him get away.
Yeah, but how much? Well, here's the thing that I would ask you
They're
about Cousins.
instant Super Bowl contenders in the AFC.
Let me
with
ask you this
Cousins.
about. Let me
No?
ask you this about. I agree, but are they going to be chasing? Is he going to be chasing the money, or is he going to be chasing the championship with Cousins? I don't know him, so I don't know what
What's
kind of
the
guy he is.
difference? He can do both.
Yeah, but the Jets can offer more money. I don't know how. I don't know what Denver's.
The Jets were
salary-
6-10 last year. They're a team on the rise.
Right, but the Jets are $100 million under the salary cap.
Right, and they
So
won
you got-
6 games last year with
With-
I mean, we sat here in August. We thought the Jets were going to win 0 games.
No,
Maybe
they played.
one.
I thought they played pretty well. I think if you give them a quarterback, a quarterback like Cousins could make them possibly 8-8, 9-7, and they could threaten to be a wild card team next year. I think he puts them at that spot. I would agree with you about Denver, though. I think that. The only problem is if you sign Cousins, are you going to be able to keep Thomas or some of these other guys, some of their other wide receivers? I think all of them are going to. I mean, Sanders, I think, and Thomas are both going to be free agents this year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That'll all work itself out. But
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, is he going to have anybody to throw the ball to? That's the only. That's the only question
more
I have in
people
Denver.
he had last year in Washington, which was just a dumpster fire, to say the least.
Yeah,
Terrell
Washington.
Pryor was terrible. Jordan Reed's always hurt.
Washington.
Doxson's a wild card.
Washington
Crowder
had
was
the,
injured.
Washington had
No
the
running
distinction.
game.
They had the distinction of losing a game to the New York Giants. Not good.
Not many teams can say they did that
No,
last year.
well, the Redskins can, though.
Deion Brown. I want Nigel Bradham back, Trey Burton, Foles. Well, I mean, Foles is still under contract, and Blunt. Nigel, I hate to break it, the Eagles say Nigel Bradham's gone. He's going to get a monster contract from somewhere. I would be shocked if he was back. Trey Burton the same way. He's going to get a monster contract somewhere to start at tight end or be a key role
Okay.
on someone's team.
Foolish demon.
Foles, I hope he's here unless you're blown away in a trade. Blunt, I'm open to bringing back, but who knows what they're doing because I think Corey Clement is a great player.
Okay, according to Foolish Demon, Sanders was extended. Thank you.
I do remember that. Now
Okay,
that
so
it's mentioned.
he got extended, but I'm pretty sure that the other guy did not get extended. Cousins is a slam dunk for Denver, according to Bob, and then Edgar Vinzer is still talking about Bitcoin, which we're not going to talk about. And he asked where we should go for what we should go for in the draft as far as position. If you're the Eagles, in my opinion, you just go for the best player. You're strong. You don't really have any weaknesses. You take the best player available. You don't go for position.
Well, I think the Eagles are going to really need linebackers quick because I don't think Bradham's going to be back. I think someone's going to overpay him. I hope he's back. I love Nigel Bradham, but I think he's going to get a monster contract somewhere. Trey Burton's going to get a monster contract somewhere. We'll see.
Well,
what they do. We'll
there'll
see
be
what they do with
linebackers.
Blunt.
There'll
That'll
be linebackers.
yeah,
in the
we'll get the
draft.
next crowd. It's fine.
I mean, listen, you can
Got a late pick though, Brad.
Yeah.
Got a late pick.
got it the 32nd pick,
Can't
but you'll
get
get
any
a good,
later.
but you'll get a good pick. You'll still get a good player.
And the draft's in Dallas too, so that Roger, the idiot Goodell, is going to step to the podium. They have to say the Super Bowl champion Eagles.
Yeah,
All the- whatever
apparently
fans are left there.
Foolish Demon is on your is agrees with you that the Eagles are going to get a linebacker.
It's
It's our
a
time.
no-brainer.
Sour Time thinks Bradham. I don't know what you mean by Bradham. You think Bradham what? So you'd have to. Jericho's beat wants to know if you think Sproles and Peters are coming back.
Sure. If they can physically suit up, bring them back.
Or Sproles isn't signed. Peters is signed though, right?
Peters is signed.
Yeah, but Peters, if Peters wants to be an Eagle, he may have to take less money. But it's either he takes less money or gets cut. So if the Eagles want him back, they'll keep him. I mean, it's that simple. I think it'll be the Eagles' decision more than it is Peters' decision. No.
Yeah, probably because Big V wasn't a detriment over there at left tackle. Maybe he can play guard.
Big V was okay. I mean, he was not a liability. I mean, he's not as good as he's not as good as Peters, but he was good enough. They won a Super Bowl with him, so how bad can he be? I mean, you didn't see their quarterback on his rear end the whole game, so that's kind of where it was. Foolish Demon would like to see them get a running back like Walton or Jackson in the second round.
That's Walton and Jackson. I mean, running back is so far down the list of needs.
Running back that you've already got. Well, no.
Who are Walton and Jackson? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Frank.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, after Barkley, I'm not really that big on who's a great running back. I guess here's a question for you guys, and I know you're Eagle fans out there, but I'll throw it out at you and throw it at you, Rob. If you're the Giants, being that you already have Eli as your quarterback, do you consider Barkley as the second pick?
I would take Barkley in 5 seconds.
I would too. I mean that.
What do you get? 10 minutes in the first round these days.
9:55
left. Giants take Saquon Barkley.
If I were them, if you're going to keep Eli, then why not get a great running back? And then sign a couple of free agent offensive linemen so that your great running back can actually run the football.
Odell's back.
They're probably going to cut Marshall. They're probably going. They're going to probably.
Marshall's a turd.
Marshall's going to be gone. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know what they're going to do with Janoris Jenkins. I know if they cut him, then they'll have an extra $13 million. Although I would keep him because I think he's a good player. After what happened last year, I consider it a wash. I would give these guys who I know are good football players another chance. I would even agree to give Eli Apple another chance. Eli Apple, I heard, reached out to Landon Collins to kiss and throw up. So hopefully those two will kiss and throw up.
Was it Tom Brady?
No.
French kiss of his father?
No,
or son?
I don't think so. Landon Collins does not like Eli Apple, but you know what? He was a first-round pick. If I'm sure if the guy comes out here and plays hard and practices hard, I'm sure everybody can get along, and we'll see what happens. I do like the Giants hire Gettleman. I think he'll do a good job for them. I can't honestly sit here and have any opinion of Shermer.
If it wasn't for the Browns, you'd have the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, I know that. No, they could do worse, but I mean,
not much.
They do have some talent on their team. I mean. All jokes aside, I mean it's kind of like the Colts. When if Andrew Luck plays next year,
yeah, they wouldn't have the third pick in the draft.
Yeah, if Odell played last year, I'm sure the Giants wouldn't have the second pick in the draft either. But the Giants' problem is their offensive line, and you know what, Bob agrees with me. If you're going to keep Eli, get Barkley. I think that's where they should. I think
Barkley's
that's where
the best player in the draft. And you're going to get him at the second pick.
To me,
because the Browns, I know the Browns are going to pick Darnold.
Yeah, they probably
idiots.
will. I mean,
that guy stinks.
Let's put it this way: if they're going to pick Rosen, then why would you keep Eli?
You shouldn't.
No, that would make then you keep Geno, and then you keep Geno and make wholesale changes.
Mike Parker, I wonder if you can convince Bradham to stay and take a lesser contract to win here. No. They got Bradham on the cheap to start with. Bradham's getting paid somewhere. If it's by the Eagles, great. If it's probably not going to be, but Bradham is not taking less money. He's chasing money. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He was on the cheap for the Eagles here to begin with, so I think that's very wishful thinking. Deion Brand, Giants take Barkley. I can see that they get a QB second round depending on how this D looks after the draft and free agency. I'm not afraid of Barkley to the Giants. Well, Barkley is going to be a great, great player.
Yeah, I kind of look at him. The same way I did when the Buffalo Bills back in the late '60s, early '70s got O.J. Simpson. He's a guy that could turn the team around if he gets some help. If they actually have offensive linemen, and this guy has a lot of potential. He could also end up being Reggie Bush, which would really suck for the Giants. But
Reggie Bush was
good, but
no,
he was not worth the second or third pick.
Eagles should try and trade
John Berg.
Eagles should try and trade back and get a second and third round pick. We don't have either this year. I don't care about a second and third round pick. If they trade back, great. I mean, they got a ring right here.
Well, that's
right
the
here.
only thing that's important.
Right here, got a ring.
For the most part,
I wouldn't care if they didn't have any draft picks for the next 10 years if I got that ring.
Listen,
Don't care.
That's what you play for. That's what you play for. You know what? When you have a chance to win the whole thing, you do what you have to do.
Well, why bring up OJ after the Eagles won a Super Bowl? Because it's the juice, man. He's the juice.
He came out of college.
Multicultural, transgenerational.
Guys, when he came out,
he's not black. He's OJ.
Listen, when he came out of USC, okay, he was the most exciting player to ever come out of college football. Period. For those of you who were around back then, he was. I mean, everybody couldn't wait to see him in the NFL, and he was a great running back in the NFL. And you know what? The Buffalo Bills didn't win crap with him, but that wasn't his fault. OJ was fantastic.
You know the Eagles won their last game of the season to screw themselves out of the first overall pick that season?
No way.
Themselves out of OJ?
See, that I don't remember. Oh. See, now, if he was with the Eagles, it would have been a little different story for them because he was that good. I see Barkley could be that kind of – I mean, I could tell you another guy who made a running back who made an unbelievable difference in New York was Freeman McNeil. I don't know if you remember him.
The Eagles drafted – I forget his name, but they drafted a guy second overall that he never even played in the NFL.
Well, I remember Charlie Garner, who was a real –
That was the 90s.
Yeah,
though.
he was a real good player. But Freeman McNeil, when he was with the Jets, boy, he was tremendous. I mean, I know that running backs aren't in vogue, and most times you draft you don't put them on the first round. But if you get a really special one, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott proved that if you have a superior running back, it really makes a big difference. I mean, that guy, as far as being on Dallas, I know we all hate Dallas, and God knows I can't stand him either, guys. But he's a really good running back.
Bob Hartman, the ring is awesome and I love it, but I'm selfish and want more. I want a dynasty, need draft picks to keep the cap down and restock. The Eagles are going to have draft picks. Howie's got it. Don't worry. We got Doug, you got Carson, you got Howie, you got Joe Douglas. 20 of 22 starters are under contract. 20 of 22. The only one that's not is Bradham and I'm blanking on the other one, but Darby's here. I guess Blunt could be considered a starter. I guess he's not under contract. Everyone else is under contract.
Let me tell you something. Howie will find a guy because that's what he does.
And
plain and simple, he'll
the
find
difference?
a guy.
What's the difference if you use your draft picks to trade for veterans like they did last year? I mean,
it
worked
doesn't,
last year.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Howie's going to keep the cap down.
As long as you have room on your salary cap.
You have Carson Wentz. You have Doug Peterson.
I'll tell you what, though.
Coach QB
honestly,
foundation.
If I was an Eagle fan, you may laugh at me about this. If I was an Eagle fan, I would want them to try to get a knock them down, drag them out, awesome, fast wide receiver to go with the group they already have. Maybe I'm crazy, but you know what?
Sure. Bring him in.
The Odell Beckham type of receiver, you put him with them where every time Wentz goes back to pass, you have that receiver that scares the crap out of you. I think that would be the.
You can get that too.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, if I'm an Eagle fan, that's probably what I. Not that you have bad receivers, guys. You have really good receivers, but I mean, if you had that one guy like that Jerry, I'm not saying maybe a Jerry Rice type guy, but that one guy like that, who you have to constantly know he's on the field at all times. If you have that guy, boy, oh boy, as good as that team
John
is
Burke,
now.
Des Bryant when he gets cut by Dallas. I want Des Bryant nowhere near the city of Philadelphia.
He's not good anymore.
He's a mutt. He's a dog. He's a loser. He's a crybaby. Can't win with him.
Okay.
You can't win with Des Bryant. He fucking stinks.
Bob says that the Eagles lost the O.J. Simpson sweepstakes and they drafted Leroy Keys, number 2. I remember Leroy Keys. He was a fantastic defensive player in college, but he stunk it up in the pros.
Yeah, he wasn't O.J.
He was the Brian Bosworth of the NFL back then. Let's see. SJM says that the Eagles are 4.6 over the cap presently. That's not a lot. So let's see. Foolish Demon.
Who cares about the cap? You got that ring, folks.
Foolish Demon.
Who cares?
I would agree with Foolish Demon on this. He's saying a Tyreek Hill, Deshaun Jackson type guy. Bingo. Okay?
Sure.
That is what I'm talking about. That's the kind of guy, if I'm an Eagle fan, and God forbid they get one of those kind of guys, that's the kind of guy I would want. A speed burner who every time he's on the field, you get him the ball, you have to worry that he might go all the way. If they can add that to their offense right now with that offensive line and that running game and the receivers they already have, oh, my God, it would be a nightmare to have to play them.
Well, Tyreek Hill was, what, a 6th-round pick because he had some character issues?
Yep.
If you want to take a flyer on one of those guys, one of those speedsters in the back of the draft, I'm for that. This team needs linebackers because you're going to lose Bradham. I hate to break it to the fans. I know Bradham was a huge part.
But, Rob, you can get a good
success.
receiver in the 2nd or 3rd pick.
They don't have that, though.
Oh, they don't have their 2nd or 3rd. They can still get one, though.
They don't have a 2nd.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Frank, do they have a 3rd? Do they have a 3rd? No, they traded a 3rd for Darby.
All right, let me ask you a question. If you traded Foles for a 2nd and you think you get a 2nd and a 3rd?
No.
I don't think you can get a 1st. I think that's out of
If
the question.
someone,
I know somebody has
it only takes one team to give you a 1st, though.
No, I understand that, but I know one. No,
I'm keeping him because I think the likely scenarios is that Carson Wentz is probably going to have to sit out a couple games to start next year.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
And now, if the off season progresses and you see that Carson Wentz is going to be ready,
well, then that's a different story. But
you got to be sure
forget.
though, because if you start off 0-3 or 0-4 in the NFL because Nate Sudfeld's your quarterback, you're done. Look at the Giants last year.
Well, yeah, no, I don't.
They started 0-3, and that was that.
Yeah, and then a couple of injuries later, all of a sudden, the season slips
Done.
away.
It's over.
Exactly.
But you got that ring.
You got the ring, and that's what you play for. You know what? And with the players you have, and with the quarterback you have, you're gonna have a shot every season. You know. Now that's not to say that they're definitely gonna win next season. Every season is different, as we all know. You know, sometimes it doesn't always work out the same. I mean, you can ask the Atlanta Falcons offensively. For some reason this year, they weren't as good as they were last year, and basically the same talent. Different offensive coordinator, but the same talent. Sometimes you have that magic year where everything you do just clicks. Every play you run is a perfect play. You know, and sometimes that happens.
Philly special.
Are we talking the?
You don't even know what Philly special is because you're a stupid New Yorker.
Was that the play when they were offside when Wentz made the catch?
You mean Foles when they weren't offsides at all?
When Foles
totally legal play, and Mike Pereira, who's the biggest jackass on NFL Fox. That's why he's on the NFL on Fox. He was in the real NFL wrecking all the games. It's not a penalty. I've seen that play run 1,000 times.
Well, supposedly somebody there didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Not true.
I don't know.
Not true.
Look, as far as I was concerned, the Patriots lost because Brady couldn't catch the damn ball, and Foles did catch the ball. That was your touchdown that they lost by, basically. If you really want to get down to it, that was it right there. Brady was wide open. The ball was thrown to him. He didn't catch it. Foles caught it. Touchdown.
Right. He actually looked like an athlete instead of Brady.
Well, you mean with the alligator arms?
Yeah.
Well, he had alligator arms.
He would have ran for days. There's nobody around him. No reason to get scared.
No, but you know it is what it is. You know, he's a great passer, but he can't catch the ball.
I'm sure he got a nice French kiss from his son after the game.
Oh my God, you guys with that French kiss.
Those pictures are inappropriate and disturbing. And I'm as big a Tom Brady fan as anybody. More than anybody at this station. He's the greatest of all time, and I love watching greatness. Those pictures of him kissing his kids and his father are disturbing.
They are kind of gross.
They're disturbing.
Yeah, they are gross.
They irk me to my core.
Yeah,
they really do. And I'm not
Rob,
kidding at all. This is not a joke.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Satirical comedy or anything like that. They irk me and they're disturbing. They should have their own category on Pornhub.
They are really, they're weird.
They're fucking gross.
Yeah, they're really weird.
They make me sick. French kiss Giselle Bundchen or whatever her name is, like that.
Well, I'm sure he has, but that's besides the point. You're right about that. That was disturbing. But was the Philly special the play with the full
Foles touchdown catch.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that was a great play. But according to some of the NFL people on the TV, they said they didn't have enough guys on the line. I don't know. I'm not a ref. I don't know. All I know is, New England stopped the damn play.
Mike Pereira can kiss my ass. How about that?
The other thing that I understand is, what was Chris Collinsworth talking about with that
Chris
one ball?
Collinsworth was terrible.
That one play.
Him and Al Michaels clearly had monster money on the Patriots.
The guy that caught the touchdown that ended up on the line, his foot was already down. It was a moot point when
Alshon Jeffrey, the Corey Clement catch that he said was no way a catch, or the Zach Ertz play where he took 8 steps and
Zach
then
Ertz
lost.
He was running, and then he
took 8 steps.
Yeah, no, he was running. So I don't know where they're coming up with that. I knew that wasn't going to get turned around. The one play where the guy caught the ball and then on the third step had his foot on the line. That shouldn't have even been talked about because that was his third step. His first and second step, he was clearly in the end zone. And guys, as you know, I was not rooting for the Eagles, but it is what it is. He was in.
Oh, so Al Michaels was nauseating the whole game.
Those guys were really...
Al Michaels was laying the 4.5 and hating every minute of calling that game.
To be honest with you, Rob,
disgusting.
I love the 4.5. I thought the Patriots would win, but I like the 4.5. In my opinion, the Eagles this postseason were the gift that kept giving as far as taking the points.
I bet them in August, 40-1, $50, won $2,000.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
So the gift that kept on doing. Had him against Atlanta, had him against Minnesota, had him against This Eagles team was boss.
Getting points, but whatever. I don't quite get it. I think in the Super Bowl, I think they should have been the favorites after what they did to Minnesota.
Rich Segaline. Chris Collinsworth was the biggest fan of the Patriots during the Super Bowl and jumped through my TV and punched the man in the face. Could not have said it better myself. It was the most biased broadcast I've ever heard in my life.
It was bad. I would agree with you.
I was screaming for Joe Buck. Pleading for Joe Buck to get hired by NBC.
I would
say,
they
let Tirico call that game?
I would say
next year.
I would say this about Buck, and I'm not crazy about Buck, but Buck is usually pretty doesn't really show a lot of favoritism when he
was
announces
better
games.
than that slop they had during the Super Bowl.
The only time I ever see favoritism with him is when the Cowboys are playing, because Troy is like a cheerleader out there.
He's pretty nauseating during the Cardinals because of his father's connections with them too. But whatever, that's fine. I don't care about that. That's neither here nor there. Terrible. Al Michaels' call when that Hail Mary dropped to the ground, and the Eagles won for the first time ever. Broadcast over.
Didn't seem very
no
excited.
Enthusiasm. No nothing.
No, I would agree.
A2DRadio.com. Fuck Joe Buck. Fuck Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah, I would agree.
Fuck Al Michaels.
I would agree.
How about that? Give me Joe Buck over those two idiots any day of the week. Just disrespect, slapped in the face for a 4-hour Super Bowl broadcast. I'm sick of it.
Jim Nantz would have been better, to be honest with you.
Jim Nantz is a consummate professional.
He is. I can't stand Tony Romo, though. And it's not because he's a Cowboy.
He's just not that good at it.
No, he's just
not that good at it.
I don't.
Maybe he'll get better, after. Maybe he'll grow into it.
That's who they replaced Phil Simms with.
Phil Simms, I know he's your boy, but
he was pretty good though. I thought Phil Simms grew into it and did a real nice job.
Yeah, maybe Romo will do that.
I hope so, but because he's a little too wishy-washy for me. But Foolish Demon says Kevin Harlan did the radio.
Kevin Harlan's spectacular announcer.
Kevin Harlan to me is the best broadcaster.
Can do any sport, NBA, college hoops, NFL.
There's nothing like hearing him do hoops when he says that.
When we leave this show for Monday Night Football,
he rocks the rim
on Westwood 1.
Yeah,
it's
rocks
him and
the
Kurt
rim.
Warner. It's fantastic. On my drive home.
He rocks the rim from pillar to post, or a line drive pass over the middle. He's the most descriptive, accurate broadcaster I think I've ever had the pleasure of listening to or watching. And, it's too bad they don't put him on TV because he is great.
Mike Parker, yeah. I heard the people in Philadelphia area hit the mute button and turn on WIP. Always a good idea to check in on Merle during the Eagles game. Michael DeAndre, yo, what's up? Anybody talk about who might be the Eagles' new OC? I don't know who's going to be the Eagles' new offensive coordinator.
Deuce?
Sure, promote Deuce. Sure.
I think it's going to be Deuce.
I don't care. I don't care who coaches the team.
Yeah, you know what? They'll be
hire Brad to coach the offense for the Eagles because we got that ring. We got Doug Peterson. Wentz will be fine. Foles will be in there to clean up if Wentz can't go. It's all fine in Philly. 20 of 22 starters under contract. It's all setting up nicely.
They should be right there.
Chris
next year.
Lyons would be great if they gave us an option for the Super Bowl or either home team announcer. Rob, please stop. Why? Stop what?
Foolish Demon says LeBron James has no regard for human life. So we're all of a sudden changing the subject.
No. That's a classic Kevin Harlan call. You never saw that clip?
No.
Oh, my God. It was like LeBron just slashed down the lane and just almost broke the rim.
Oh, okay.
Like
I thought he was talking
and
about
Harlan,
because of the
Harlan,
trades.
I think it was a TNT game or something.
Oh, okay.
Like that. Yeah.
Kevin Harlan's great. I love Kevin Harlan.
The Eagles are going to keep the train rolling. John Burke, we need to keep the train rolling. The train is rolling. The train has left the station. The game is on. Carson Wentz is going to be the quarterback of this team.
Don't worry, they're not going to make stupid
until I'm
trades,
40
guys.
years old at least. The Eagles will be in Super Bowl contention every year until I'm 40 years old. No question about it. I'm 28 right now for a reference point.
I
The
agree.
train is rolling. The train has left the station. Nobody can stop the train. No one in the NFC East is going to be able to stop the train because the Redskins are a bunch of dopes, giving up all those that draft pick, a corner,
The Redskins,
Kirk Cousins,
the
and their
Redskins
cap
are no
space
good.
for Alex Smith with
I
no
do
weapons.
not-
The Cowboys stink. Dak
Well,
Prescott's
I don't know.
terrible.
I don't know.
And
You
the
know what?
Giants, maybe they can rebound, but the Giants aren't. The Giants
are not. The Giants are not going to be on the same level as the Eagles.
The Giants
next
aren't
year.
going from 2-14 to 11-5.
No, I don't think so.
They might go to 8-8
They
next year.
might go to 9-7, 8-8.
Maybe.
I think
Well,
they
they'll
could do
beat the
that.
Giants, the Redskins, and the Cowboys. The train has left the station.
Are you sure about that? Because they are going to have Elliott back all year next year.
Yeah. Give me a break.
Okay.
Give me a break.
All right. I know. I'm
Yeah.
just, he did miss
Best
6
run
games.
defense in the whole NFL, right here in Philadelphia. Bring on Ezekiel Elliott. He'll probably get mad and hit his girlfriend again before next season again and be out again. Be kicked out of the league. He'll be in the XFL with Vince McMahon.
Well,
Dallas stinks. They stink.
just saying. Of
They
course,
stink.
when the Giants play Dallas, naturally
The
he
Redskins
was in there
stink.
both games. The Redskins, I agree with you. The Redskins, I
Minimum
don't know what
4
they're
and 2.
doing.
Minimum 4 and 2 in the division next year for the Eagles. Minimum.
Yeah, probably.
Minimum 4 and 2.
Could be 5-1.
Could be 6-0.
Doubt it.
Teams stink.
Doubt it. You know what? It's hard to win all your games in your division, no matter how good you are. Inevitably, you stub your toe. It's going to be tough for the Eagles next year. Keep in mind, they're going to have a big target on their back. That's what happens when you're the Super Bowl champions.
Deion Brown.
Every week they play, they're going to be everybody's going to be waiting and just ready to play them. So
Cool.
I'm just telling you that's
Well, guess what?
That's how it
the
is.
dogs will be barking next year, too. Don't worry about it. So they better bring their best shot. They're going to get their fucking leg gnawed off like they did the whole season this year because they're Super Bowl champs. I don't want to hear about the rest of the NFL. It's all about the Eagles. The whole NFL, the whole football world until next February resolves around the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it.
Well, at least
Nothing.
until the summer. Once the season starts, then we're back to
The
square
Eagles are
one.
champs until next February. Until
That they
someone
are.
else hoists the Lombardi Trophy that's not the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles are the champs.
Until they're eliminated.
Until someone else lifts the Lombardi Trophy, the Eagles
could be,
are the champs.
There's always the chance they won't make the playoffs. You never know. You never know, Rob.
Oh,
you
man.
never know. Every
I
season
almost
is
choked.
every
choked right there.
season's different. You
Yeah,
just don't
good
know.
one. How much of an impact will Alex Smith make down in the DMV area, fellas? Dion, Alex Smith is a non-factor on the Washington Redskins. They have no weapons. If Alex Smith couldn't get it done in Kansas City with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, I mean, who's the Redskins running back? Do you even know? Who is
Mac Jones.
it? Matt Jones, who fumbles on the goal line every time he gets near it. Crowder's okay.
Pryor.
Doxson's okay. Pryor's a mutt.
They're not
What's
really.
Alex Smith going to do? Who's he going to get
I
the
don't
ball
know.
to?
I first of all, I think he's a downgrade from Cousins. So
I don't think he's as good as Cousins.
No, I mean I don't really understand.
And you
why.
gave up your best cover corner, a guy who was rated higher
than Josh Norman.
Kendall Fuller was rated higher on Pro Football Focus than Marcus Peters.
It was rated higher than Norman.
Marcus Peters, the guy on the Chiefs.
I know, but he's better than.
Hey, he's not better than Norman. No.
Okay, I mean, you said their best cover corner. I mean, Norman's probably their
he's
best.
He's one of the best nickelbacks in the league.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they gave up a third-round pick and gave him all this money. Why are they so
really
scared to give Cousins that money? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't. There must be something about Cousins that they don't. Although I don't. You know, Daniel Snyder hasn't exactly been the poster child for understanding talent.
He's an idiot.
Okay, Chris Thompson is their.
Yeah, they have Robert Kelly too.
I'm not real impressed with him either. He's not all that great. Foolish Demon wants to know if you get compensatory picks. For what?
Who cares about compensatory picks for what?
Yeah, that's what I. For who? I don't know why you would get a compensatory.
Just relax.
Yeah,
the Eagles are going to get coaches. They're going to get players. It's going to be fine.
Listen. Wouldn't you rather
Flaunt
be in
that ring, baby? Flaunt
that
ring.
Wouldn't you rather be in a position where you're hiring new coaches because you won the Super Bowl and your best offensive coordinator and whatever your best coaches have been taken by it? That's what happens when you win the Super Bowl. You're going to probably lose one or two coordinators. That's just that. It is what it is. Every team goes through that. That's why it's so hard to repeat. You know, I mean, that's the whole point. And you know what? Sometimes the following season, because of all the extra games that are played, sometimes guys get hurt. It's not easy to repeat. You know what? The Eagles have a chance to repeat because they got most of the same team out there. They'll have the opportunity if they stay healthy. They'll have an opportunity to repeat. Very simple, guys. Let's see. Who do we have here? He's relaxed. Let's see. Some of these guys here seem like they're relaxed. David Roscoe likes the Rams.
Likes the Rams?
Yeah, he likes the Rams. You know what? The Rams are pretty good, but
cool.
We'll see. They're cool. I think the Rams are going to be very, very solid next year. I wouldn't count them out.
No, it's fine.
They're going to be good. I would think that they're going to be good, although they certainly did not play their best game in the playoffs. If I'm the Eagles, the teams next year to worry about are the Falcons and the Saints to me, but that's my opinion. You know, somebody else could rise. Aaron Rodgers will be back with the Packers.
The Packers stink, though. Outside of Aaron Rodgers, the Packers stink.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is a key port to that game. I think the Seattle Seahawks. I think basically at this point their window is closed. I think that they're just too old at this point. You know, I don't see them keeping Sheldon Richardson. I think from what I've heard, Sheldon Richardson's going to end up going back to the Jets. From everything I've heard, you know, unless Seattle can go out and bring in like a Mo Wilkerson or some younger guys to replace some of the old guys, because their old guys are getting hurt all the time. None of them can stay healthy. You know, they're not staying on the field, and really you have to be the right age to win the Super Bowl. You have to have your guys there in the big spot. They have to be there all season. They have to be there in the playoffs. Seattle has not had that.
Yeah, Seattle's on the downswing. I'm more worried about the Niners than I am the Seahawks.
Well, I think the Niners still have another year before they're going to really, really, really be there.
Well, they have a bunch of cap space, and they have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes, they do, but they better get a defense.
Well, they have, what, the 9th pick in the draft?
Is it the 9th? I thought it was earlier than that. Don't
whatever.
they have I thought it was the 5th. Maybe it's the
whatever.
Whatever. They're gonna have a top 10 pick. They should be able to improve their team, and they're not a team that's afraid to spend money either. You know, John Lynch certainly seems to know what he's doing.
And if the Cardinals get Kirk Cousins, there's a team that could be something.
Keep hearing the Cardinals are going to trade with the Browns and get the first round pick.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's what I keep hearing because they want Rosen. So we'll see. I mean, that could be something that could happen. I don't know exactly what the Browns would be thinking, unless maybe they would want
The
Mayfield.
Browns never think. They're not. They're,
I mean,
they're
who
never
they who would they
thinking.
want? Mayfield. I mean, I think Mayfield's a good player, but he seems
Baker
from
Mayfield.
what I've heard he's too short. That's what the
Josh Allen's from Wyoming.
yeah. I mean, is Mayfield big enough to play? I mean, I guess Drew
Whatever.
Brees
There's
is
short quarterbacks.
yeah. Drew Brees is only 5'11", and he's very good. But most quarterbacks are pretty tall. I mean,
Chris Lyons, Niners.
it helps.
Nice pick. I was right.
Okay, it helps to be tall when you're a quarterback. I mean, let's be honest. Most of them are pretty tall. Most of the time, they're like 6'4", 6'5". So.
True.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be able to see over the.
Now the Browns
over
are
the
going to
line.
pick Darnold and then make a stupid trade and stink, but they always do. They stink.
Yeah, I would agree. They also have the fourth hit. What about Johnny Manziel? Think he's going to come back into the league?
No, he's bipolar now apparently.
Yeah, but there's medication for that. Somebody could give him a chance
I
to
don't
be
think
a.
there's enough medication in the world for Johnny Manziel to get another shot in the NFL.
You know what? All it takes is one team. Listen, Tim
Good
Tebow.
luck. Good luck to
Tim
that
Tebow got
team.
it. Tim Tebow got another shot.
Yeah, but Tim Tebow is Tim Tebow is not a junkie.
No, I understand. He's morally probably the nicest guy you'll ever want to meet on the face of the earth, but he had no arm.
Won a playoff game.
Yes, he did. That one pass did get through, and they got a big play. Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Manziel did have some ability. I mean, there's talent there. I just wonder if somebody would take a chance on bringing him in as a third-string quarterback and trying to develop him.
I don't think there's a shot in hell that happens.
No, okay.
I think he's going to be the first pick in the XFL draft.
Well, I thought he was playing Canadian football next year.
Yeah, but he'll come to the XFL.
Yeah, he probably would. But, if he puts up numbers in the Canadian League, you never know.
Oh, you can't just call someone a junkie who's trying to clean themselves up. I just did. I just did call him a junkie.
Oh,
He's
God.
not good at football. He's not going to get another shot. Not on my team, at least. Sorry. Take a chance to start your own team. Have him as your quarterback. See how far you get.
Yeah, I'm just thinking he's a project, but, maybe somebody might take a chance on him. I mean, I don't know. That's
Good
just,
luck. Good luck to him.
Yeah, well,
Not in Philadelphia. Not on my team ever.
No.
In
No,
a million years.
Well, but your team isn't an awful team that has trouble drawing fans either. So that's the thing. He's going to be in Canada. I mean, I think he already signed a contract with somebody in Canada. But I mean, listen, there have been some Canadian football players who came to the United States and were awfully good. One by the name of Warren Moon.
If Johnny Manziel turns into Warren Moon, okay.
Listen, Warren Moon had some problems too when he was that's why he was in Canadian football in the first place, is because Warren Moon had some issues too. I'm not saying they were to the extent of Manziel, but he had some issues. That's why he was in the NFB. That's why he was in the CFL, and then Houston gave him a shot, and from there he was great until unfortunately his teams just weren't quite good enough to win a Super Bowl. But he was very good when he was with Houston, that's for sure.
Rich Segaline, if Carson Wentz says he's ready week 1, would you rush him back week 1 or let Foles start the season? Be patient with Wentz. Make sure he's 100% before starting him without risking injury.
I'll answer that. You've got to be patient with Wentz. You do not want to
100%.
throw him in
Nick
there.
Foles just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
He
listen.
beat 3 quality teams in a row.
Even if Foles does not
Yeah.
play well, you'll win it with your defense and running game. I mean, you still have your offensive line
Wait, you
intact.
won't go 0-4 with Foles?
No, you'll probably go
No.
3-1.
Wentz is the truth. Wentz is so good.
He is.
So good. So
He is.
if he
The only
goes
thing that-
out there and
the only
starts
thing that
running
could
around
stop-
and practicing and his knee's a little sore, nope. Sit
Yeah,
down.
the only thing that could stop Wentz is if their
Pup
offensive
list.
line falls apart. Other than that, there's nothing else is going to stop Wentz. He's one of those guys, I mean, he's going to be talked about in the same breath as guys like Ken Stabler and Brady and Montana and guys like that. He's that good as long as he can stay on the field. So let's see. We have Manziel isn't Warren Moon. Well, we know he's not Warren Moon. I'm just making a point that a CFL player, this is SJM86, he's saying what Manziel is. Did I say Manziel was Warren Moon?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just making a point that Warren Moon was a good player in Canadian football. That's all. There have been plenty of, and Foolish Demon, you're right, there have been plenty of bust quarterbacks. Brady Quinn, Dorsey Couch, Seneca Wallace. I agree. Derek Anderson, all those guys.
They're all, they all play for the Browns.
Yeah, Javarius Russell, the guy in the Raiders. Remember him?
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell and Leaf. I mean, there's been plenty of guys who everybody thought was going to. I mean,
yeah, he was.
Who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback of USC when they had those when they had that great offense?
Leinart.
Yeah, Matt Leinart. I mean,
he was never anything.
Yeah, he was great in college. I mean, you just don't really know. You don't really know. Wentz will be the next Aaron Rodgers at best. At worst, Ben Roethlisberger. Okay. I think that's fair. That's fair. I mean, geez, if he's as bad as Ben Roethlisberger, I'm sure you guys will be happy with 2 Super Bowls. I mean, and being right there every year. Yeah, that's a pretty good comparison too. I don't know about Aaron. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is exceptional. I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers. Is
apt analysis, Brad.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is exceptional.
He's
breaking news here on the Sports Hounds. Aaron Rodgers is really good.
Yeah, he's. I mean, honestly, I think he's better than Brady. I just don't think he's had the team that Brady has had, or the coach. But talent-wise, boy, he's.
Who was the last
ridiculous.
Heisman winner to win a Super Bowl quarterback? I don't think a Heisman winner's ever won the.
A quarterback, Heisman quarterback.
Heisman quarterback, Joe Montana. He didn't win the Heisman.
Yeah, and he was the 3rd-round pick too. Did Joe Namath win the Heisman in Alabama?
No, because Mark Ingram was the first Alabama player to ever win the Heisman.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I mean,
I don't think
I'd have to go.
Carson Palmer.
Did Archie Manning ever win a Heisman?
Yeah, but he never won the Super Bowl.
He never won the Super Bowl. No, Peyton didn't win. I was thinking Peyton. Peyton Manning, he didn't win the Heisman, did he?
No. Charles Woodson won the Heisman that year.
Okay, so probably I can't. As far as a quarterback, no. Running backs, yes, but quarterbacks, no. I'm sure we could come up with a running back.
Yeah, probably a bunch.
Yeah, but not quarterbacks. It's tough. Quarterbacks, it's tough because it's not just you. It's your whole team. It's your offensive line. It's your receivers. You can be. I mean, look at Dan Marino, how great he was, and he never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and you can't. Yeah, and I mean, seriously, are you going to say Dan Marino is an all-time great quarterback?
I don't.
Yeah, he was.
I've heard people say that.
Dan Marino was unbelievable. He didn't have his team never had a good defense, and they never had a running game. He made two receivers who were pretty good, not great, but he gave those 2 receivers, Duper and Clayton, he made them 2 of the most incredible receivers you'll ever see. I mean, let's be honest, Duper and Clayton were good, but I mean, that's because it was more because of him.
Cam lost. That's probably the closest you'll get. Cam Newton.
Well, but they didn't win.
Got there, he lost.
Yeah, he didn't win. You were asking if they.
Yeah.
John Elway.
He didn't win the Heisman.
No. Okay. No, I'm just going back to some quarterbacks who I know were really great in college too. Yeah, I really can't think of any at this point. No, probably not. Yeah, I mean,
I was looking at all the lists, and I'm like, all right, Doug Flutie, all right, he played for the Pats, but it wasn't the Super Bowl winning Pats at
What
the
about
time.
Plunkett? Didn't Plunkett win a Heisman Trophy?
He did win Super Bowls. He won 2 of them.
Yes.
That's right, Jim Plunkett.
Did Plunkett win a Heisman, though?
Yeah, he did. The 70. Staubach won a Super Bowl as well.
There you go.
I got one.
Yeah, Staubach and
Plunkett was not a great quarterback.
Not a great quarterback.
He was in the right place at the right time.
All right, let's take a break, and we're going to get into the rest of the world in sports now that football is wrapping up. Sports Hounds, be back right after this.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
All right, we're back. BMW Atlantic City Studios, Sports Hounds, presented by Gibson Mayer, certified accountants, GibsonMayer.com. Check them out. Knicks and Sixers, their squads are head-to-head in the NBA right now. Sixers lead at the Wells Fargo Center, 91-79. Fourth quarter, about 10 minutes ago left in that game. Knicks caught a bad break. Porzingas, torn ACL. I don't like seeing that kind of stuff. It's terrible for the NBA.
Probably out till next January.
That's terrible for the NBA.
Terrible
He's a
for the
budding
Knicks, too.
star. Don't like that. But the tank is on. I'm sure the NBA will fix the draft lottery up real nice for the Knicks this year.
You mean like they did with Patrick Ewing?
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
Well,
so you probably get the first pick.
I would say this about the Knicks in the lottery. Okay, the last few years they haven't exactly been getting the.
Well, that's why they're doing.
Yeah. I was gonna say that it's not exactly like the NBA has done them any favors the last few years.
But
they did draft Porzingis instead of Okafor, so I guess that was because the Sixers took Okafor before they got Porzingis, so I guess that was a break. But I'm sure if the Knicks had a third pick, Phil would have taken Okafor over Porzingis.
Probably.
Yeah, he would have.
But speaking of first overall picks in the draft, Sixers trade up for Markelle Fultz. I thought it was a great pick. Looks great in the summer league. This guy, he's got some sort of shoulder injury, but this isn't his head, man. This guy forgot how to play basketball. What they're saying now is he has no muscle memory to shoot jump shots.
What?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. So he's probably not even going to play this year. I don't understand. I've never seen anything like this in my life where a guy has just been so mentally lost.
Oh, I remember a 76er who was picked second in the draft many, many moons ago who was totally lost from the first day he stepped on the court.
Who was that?
Sean Bradley.
Oh, but that's different. Sean Bradley was a stiff. Markelle Fultz is not a stiff.
Well, right now he is.
But he's not a stiff. We saw him play in summer league. We saw him play in college. This guy shot over 40% from three in college, and he forgot how to shoot a jump shot. He forgot how to play basketball.
That's bizarre.
He had a little bit of a shoulder injury, but how do you go from the summer league to? This guy was playing opening night against the Wizards,
Did
driving
he play well?
the lane. He had a couple shots. It was his first game ever in the NBA.
Well, what's going on with him? You got
no one knows. Colangelo, that moron Colangelo, he was having a press conference the other day saying they're probably going to have to shut him down. You need this guy.
Why? If that's the case, why don't they send him to the G League?
I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what their thinking is. I have no idea what their plan is.
He could go to the G. Listen, you know what? It seems like G League has been in vogue lately. I've heard that teams are calling up guys from the G League and they're playing well in the NBA. It's been a trend this year. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you have a guy who's a head case to maybe go down there and get his game back.
Markelle Fultz, I've counted him out this season. Hopefully he can go through the offseason and come back strong next year. But the Sixers don't make any trades at the deadline. They do grab Marco Bellinelli, who was bought out by Atlanta Hawks.
Good shooter.
It is a great signing.
Good shooter.
It's a great signing. You don't give up anything for him. You just sign him. He takes stinky Jared Bayless' spot in the rotation.
Well, basically,
you get another shooter.
Basically, you got him and Redick now as shooters.
Right. You get another guy who can space the floor with Covington and Redick.
Listen, you guys
space the floor
you
for
guys
Simmons
have
and Embiid.
You have a nice little team there. You would have to think that the future of the NBA Eastern Conference right now is the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. With all due respect to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, by the way, did they make some
that's a Howie
great
Roseman-esque trade.
Wow.
I mean,
They got rid of all the dead weight.
They got rid of Isaiah Thomas, who can't play a lick of defense, who doesn't even start for the Lakers.
And by the way,
Crowder's a decent player.
He's also a hog and stops the ball from moving.
But you trade those 4 players and they trade their draft picks away. Who cares? They get Rodney Hood, who
Yeah, but they didn't trade the Nets pick.
No, they still have that.
That's what I'm saying. They still have the
So
Nets
they really
pick.
didn't give up anything. I mean, who would you rather have at guard? Jordan Clarkson and George Hill, or Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose?
Oh, they both stink.
Like,
They're both 100 years old.
and then you get Rodney Hood instead of Jay Crowder. That's an upgrade.
That's an upgrade.
You lose Isaiah Thomas, but Isaiah Thomas doesn't fit anywhere except Boston, I guess.
No, Isaiah Thomas is a ball hog. I mean, he does not keep the ball moving.
Score first point guard.
Yeah, I mean that's not how Cleveland is going to be set up. And you know what?
No, and George Hill and Jordan Clarkson can play off the ball when LeBron wants to bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? You know that LeBron probably had a lot to do with these trades. He probably sat there with Gilbert, and they probably figured out exactly.
Gilbert, how about the
Atman
or whatever his name is?
Well, I mean, but Gilbert is the one who ultimately makes the final decision.
He's not the GM.
He's the owner. Gilbert, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, he's the owner,
but
he's
got to take the
meddling
money
in day-to-day operations of his GM, then
well, he's gonna.
That's foolish.
It's the money, though. He still has to, because they did take on some money. But I mean, they made some really good moves. They got younger, faster, more athletic. Now, are they going to be able to beat Boston in the playoffs?
yes,
Maybe.
yes.
Maybe. Will they beat
The
Golden
Celtics
State?
lack top-tier talent. Yes, they have Kyrie Irving, who's absolutely tremendous, but
Yes, I agree with that.
they
They have a lot
Raptors-
of very good players.
I don't think the Celtics would beat the Raptors in a 7-game series.
That would be a close. You know what? If the Celtics have home court advantage, I got to give them the edge.
I don't know.
I think
Kyle
it'd be a
Lowry,
7-game.
DeRozan.
I think it'd be a 7-game series. I know Vassilonis is a good player too, but I mean they're in a 7-game series. I would think Boston would beat them if they have home court.
I don't know what they're doing if they're ever going to get their shit
But
together. But the
if you remember-
Bucks are more talented than the Celtics.
If you remember, I said to you, I think the Sixers can finish fourth. I think they can finish fourth.
No, they can't finish that high.
Is it too late for them to finish fourth,
Uh,
or do you think they just don't have? Because I think they have the
they're
ability.
not as
to finish
good as
fourth.
those teams. Not yet.
Well, the top three are the top three. You don't think they're better than the Bucks?
No.
Well, I mean, they have the one guy that's unbelievable.
They got the
I can't
Greek
pronounce his
freak.
name. Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. but-
Brogdon's hurt now, and he might not be back, so that's a big loss. But I mean, the Bucks they have Bledsoe, they have all kinds of guys. They have Henson.
And ever since they got rid of Kidd and brought in another coach, that apparently Kidd was the problem.
looks like it.
Yeah, because they seem to be just fine as soon as they got rid of him.
So
I
that's
mean, they're
4.
a talented team.
I
Okay,
think
but
they're a better team than the Wizards.
I
they're
think
a
they're
better
better
team than the Pacers.
I
the
agree.
Heat.
so I think so worst case fifth, but they could come in fourth.
I think 6th is their seal this year with this team.
Well, if they come in sixth, they would play the Raptors in the first round. Or the Cavaliers.
Probably Cleveland.
No, we'll be done in
It
the
doesn't
first
matter.
round.
If you finish 6th,
You
you're
know,
not
if
beating.
you-
This Sixers team is not beating the Celtics. I think they'd have the best chance to beat the Celtics out of those 3 teams.
Yeah, I guess they would.
The
but
Celtics are a good team, but
they're deep too.
they're deep.
They're deep. They're deep. But
They're like remember
deep
when the
is more. Deep
remember
is
when
more
the
for the
Phoenix
season.
Suns had Steve Nash
Yes.
and they were really deep and really good and can score a lot
Yeah, but
of
in the
points.
playoffs
the
it doesn't. But in playoffs it doesn't
right.
matter
You
because
need
you're only playing
top
with 8
tier,
guys.
top 5 talent.
Yeah, they only.
To
You
win
only.
the playoffs. The
you only
Cavs
go.
have that.
You only go 7-8 deep in
the
the playoffs.
Raptors have that. Obviously, the Warriors and the Rockets have that out west. If Kawhi Leonard ever plays for the Spurs this year, I don't know what's going on with that.
I mean,
they
who
have
else
that.
did the Cleveland get rid of? Channing Frye, who's useless.
Channing Frye.
They got rid of. They got rid of Eamon Shumpert.
But
Big
now they
deal.
have Nance to fill in for Love until he gets back.
Yeah, I mean they.
I don't know
really-
what. I don't know how that. Bravo to that guy. The
Yeah,
Cavs
they
GM.
did a terrific job, and you know what? LeBron will probably. LeBron might even stick around after this year. You know, if he really loves this team, and he sees a future with this team, he'll stick around.
Kobe Altman. What a job. A Howie Roseman-esque trade in the NBA. And they go out, and the first game with their new players, they beat the Boston Celtics.
In Boston by 20
In Boston by 20 on Paul Pierce Day.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't get any better than that, folks. Doesn't get any better than that. And you got to give them a lot of credit. Rob, regarding the West, okay, can Houston beat the Warriors in a 7-game series?
Well, the Warriors and the Rockets have played twice this year, and the Rockets have won both of them.
I know that. That's why I'm asking you.
So, yes,
Can
I
they,
think yes.
How significant is the regular season right now when it comes to those two teams?
Huge. It's a half-game difference, and home court is going to make a difference in that series.
Because the only thing I wonder,
that's a 7-game series if I've ever seen one.
Does James Harden show up this time in
I
the
hope
playoffs?
so. If he doesn't show up this time.
Because, boy, oh boy, Houston.
He has Chris Paul with him this year, though.
Well, if Houston doesn't win this year, they may never win.
I mean,
in the James Harden era, if they can't win, if they can't win this year, I don't know when they're going to win.
You have the Thunder lurking with Russ, Carmelo, and Paul George.
They're starting to play better.
They're starting to play better, and
yeah,
I don't think they had the horses to beat the Rock. I mean, the Rockets are.
No, they're not athletic enough.
And the
to
Warriors
play the
are
Rockets.
obviously the Warriors, but
yeah, they're not. I mean, to beat the Rockets, I mean the Warriors have the athleticism to get out there and guard all those 3-point shooters, because they play basically the Warriors and the Rockets play the same game.
Right, they play AAU running gun basketball.
Yeah, exactly, and they're terrific 3-point shooting teams, and if they have to go down low, they have the ability to have guys that can get down low and get the 2-point shots when they need the 2-point shots. I mean, they're terrific offensive machines. I'm just wondering if Houston in a close game, in a big shot defensively, can they stop Golden State? Because they defensively has always been
the answer's probably no, and
Yeah.
it'll be Cavs and the Warriors again.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. You know, in a 122 to 122 game, with 10 seconds to go, and Golden State has the ball, can the Rockets stop them?
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, I guess conversely,
I wouldn't bet on that.
if the Rockets have the ball, can the Warriors stop them?
That's more likely than
and
the first scenario.
I think the Rockets.
But the Warriors might not stop the Rockets either. It might be who has the ball last.
It could be. It could be. But then, when the Rockets are on their game and they're shooting well, nobody can win. Nobody can get within 20
points of them.
points
They're
of them.
going to put up 150, and then it's going to be over.
Yeah.
Michael Chromiak, Sixers have my attention now, boys. I'm a baseball guy at heart. Unfortunately, I'm a Cardinals fan. Their cheap owner has drained any excitement I have for this offseason. I agree with you. I think the Cardinals are going to really disappoint the fans down there, Chromo. I really like the Brewers. Count me on the Brewers bandwagon.
Yeah,
I think that team's going to put up a lot of crooked numbers.
I wish that the Brewers would go out and get Arrieta, though. I mean, that would really, really, really help them, because Chicago did make a good. I mean, as far as
Darvish, 6 years, 126.
Yeah, as far as Darvish is concerned.
Boy, the Cubs really needed that.
A foolish contract handed out by the Cubs.
It's too many years, but the money's not bad.
The money isn't bad, but it's a foolish contract. The guy has been a walking injury for the last 3-4 years. I mean, but if you're talking about for this year only, they're going to be tough. I mean, if you look at between how nicely is he going to fit behind John Lester and in front of who's that other guy, Hendricks?
Yeah,
Kyle Hendricks, and then the guy they got from Chicago last year, Quintana. I mean, that's a nice little rotation there.
They desperately needed the Darvish signing.
Oh yeah, their bullpen is very, very shaky though. The Cubs
very shaky. They don't even have Wade Davis anymore.
No, I know.
So I don't know what they're doing back there.
I mean, that's going to be a problem for them.
I mean, Darvish is an upgrade from Arrieta. Do we agree there?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
They really needed that.
I'm not crazy about Arrieta, but Arrieta would be an upgrade for the Brewers over what they have right now.
Can the Brewers get? I don't like Arrieta though. I don't want the Brewers to sign Arrieta.
Well,
I love the Brewers right now.
Yeah, I would just think that if Arrieta signs with the Brewers, how motivated would he be?
Knuble at the back end, who was a lights out closer
Rob,
last year.
how motivated would he be to stick it to the
He
Cubs?
might have something there. They need a pitcher.
Yeah, they got to get it. They're gonna get another pitcher because
They
you
can
know
get
what?
Lance Lynn,
they're
Alex Cobb.
Lance Lynn.
He'd be the ace of the Brewers.
God, I don't know.
Chase
Maybe
Chase Anderson's okay.
It's my Yankee prejudice, but I see Lance Lynn in a big spot. I see home runs going over that fence with him. It's just
he had
between
a great season last year.
him and Cobb. I know. I had him on my fantasy team. Remember?
No, but
Yeah, I made a big.
that was a good pick.
I made a big trade. I traded Stroman and I got him and McCullers, but unfortunately McCullers hurt his back, and then when he pitched good,
I remember that
he had to wait
trade.
until he had to
The
pitch.
whole league fucking freaked out, and blew up my phone because I thought it was unfair.
What? That I got McCullers.
I forget what they were saying.
I traded Stroman and somebody who was Stroman and Bundy.
That's right, that idiot Dylan Bundy.
Yeah, whoever I traded with, Bundy got slaughtered.
Whose best 6 weeks of the season were the first 6 weeks of
Yeah,
the season.
no, he got slaughtered by whoever the heck, by whoever picked him up. He got slaughtered that time. Then he dumped him, and I got Bundy back, and Bundy was great for me again. But unfortunately, McCullers hurt his back, and he never pitched for me. So
The Brewers need pitching. The Brewers need a pitcher.
Brewers need one. They need one more. They need one more pitcher.
They're going to score runs. John Burke.
I think Alex Cobb would be the guy for them to get.
Yeah, Alex Cobb should be a Philly, but Matt Klentak, like Chromo's owner down there in St. Louis, just seems to be content in not doing anything in a wide open National League East.
Sixers JT. How is Aaron Judge overrated?
Who said Aaron Judge was overrated?
Sixers JT. Okay, Aaron Judge is overrated, and Giancarlo is in the American League, and he won't be used to pitching. Okay, so you're telling me that Aaron Judge is overrated when he hit 282 and he had 52 home runs and 114 RBIs, and he had 6 bad weeks in the middle of the season, but he came back and adjusted to the pitchers and then crushed everybody.
Yeah, he just hates
September.
New York, and he's biased.
Yeah, come on, guy.
Aaron Judge is.
Come on, and Giancarlo won't be able to hit the American League pitchers.
Giancarlo Stanton's going to hit 50 home runs without breaking a sweat.
First of all, are you familiar with Yankee Stadium? Yankee Stadium is a hitter's ballpark. Okay, Giancarlo Stanton. If you pull the ball to left field, if you pull it down the line, it's not a hard place to hit home runs. If you hit the ball, if he bunts the ball to right field, he's liable to hit a home run.
They might each hit 60 home runs this year.
They could. The Yankees will hit as a team. They'll probably hit around 250 home runs this year.
Probably, because Sanchez could hit 50 himself
if he stays healthy. Between
scary
Sanchez,
lineup. Aaron Judge is not overrated.
Greg Bird is going to hit 25 home runs this year
Maybe,
if he stays healthy.
If he's healthy,
he could hit more. Didi Gregorius could hit 25 last year, and he missed all of April. I mean, they're going to hit a ton of home runs. So Aaron Judge being overrated. Well, you know what? If he didn't have that great September, I would agree with you. But you know what? When you get your butt kicked for 6 weeks when you start off great and then you have a bad slump,
the league adjusts.
The league adjusts.
You have to readjust. And Aaron Judge readjusts. It's a sign of a fantastic player. Aaron Judge is going to be.
The guy readjusted. I mean, what do you want?
He'll be in Cooperstown one day.
Oh, if he stays healthy.
Aaron Judge will be in Cooperstown one day.
I mean, he's a big time player, so I can't. Stanton had a historic season.
John Burke 135 between the three of them. That's way low.
Aaron Judge fell apart in the NLCS. Really, I didn't know were the Yankees in the National League.
No, I mean is that the same guy, JT?
Okay, JT, the American League World Series. Aaron Judge actually had a very good playoff series. Okay,
against the Astros.
Yeah, he actually hit
I'd
the
have
ball.
To look it up.
He hit the ball pretty well. I believe he hit 280, 290. He didn't hit the ball quite as well as that little turd Altuve, but Altuve was the best player in baseball last year, as evidenced by his MVP. So if you're comparing him to Altuve, okay, but are you going to tell me Aaron Judge didn't have a good year, a good playoff? I would strongly disagree. That Sixers, JT, they're a good team, but you smell bust when it comes to them going to the World Series. Well, that's fair. They could lose.
The American League is
they could lose to
extremely
Houston.
loaded.
Yeah, they could lose. They could lose to Houston.
You
They could
got
lose
the
to Cleveland.
You got the Indians out there. You got the Angels, who I think are really improved. The Astros won it all last year.
Exactly, and the Red Sox aren't slouches. They're pretty good still. I mean, they're not going to.
Boston.
But you know what? I think I would think that the Yankees have improved themselves to a point next year where they can compete with anybody, and they should not. They will not be in the underdog role next year. Let's put it this way. Now, moving over to the National League, in the National League East in particular. Okay. Other than the Washington Nationals, the NL East is really a toss-up. The Mets, talent-wise, if there's so many ifs with that team. If this one stays healthy, if that one stays healthy, if this one recovers from having a horrible season last year and plays well, the Mets could be an 85 to 88 win team. They could be an 81 win team, or they could be like a 65 win team if a lot of these guys get hurt again. So you've got
Phillies
that.
are not John Burke. Phillies are dead last. Phillies are not dead last. The Miami
Phillies
Marlins
are not dead last.
Miami Marlins are a double. They're not even. They might not even be a
Marlins
double
are
A
good.
team.
The Miami
They're a single
Marlins
A
are,
team.
The Miami Marlins.
They
are gonna
absolutely stink.
They'll win about 55 games next
The
year.
Braves are improved, but they're nothing special. I don't.
Rob, what do you think? What do you see the Braves? About
I don't
75, 76 wins next year.
Yeah, probably just under 80. Maybe
Yeah.
if everything goes right, they'd be over 500. The Nationals are still really good.
I
They'll
could
probably,
see-
they'll
I-
probably win the division by default. But why can't Clintack get off his ass and do something and make a wild card push? Second place is wide open. I don't like the Mets a little bit.
No, too many things have to go right for the Mets. That's the whole point.
The
Second
Marlins
place.
stink.
Yeah,
The Braves
stink.
are okay. I mean, you
If you-
signed Carlos Santana. It's the only thing you do this offseason is Carlos Santana.
They need to get it. I mean, they
They have no pitching.
That's a
They have
team-
no bullpen.
That's a team that needs to get. Their bullpen's okay, actually.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's
They
okay.
can score.
And they can score. They can hit, but they really need to get some starting pitching. I mean, after Aaronola, everybody is shaky.
No, bring in Cobb, bring in Arrieta.
Lance Lynn would be an
Lance
improvement.
Lynn,
Lance Lynn would be
anybody,
an
someone to
improvement.
pair with. Like, they're just holding out
Or
for
make-
guys like Machado next offseason. It's not going to happen if you win 70 games this year.
Well, okay,
It's just not.
Let's talk about Machado for a second, because I know I've had this argument with Philly fans about the Yankees versus the Phillies with Machado. The Yankees did not sign Todd Frazier. In case you
No.
haven't noticed, they have not signed
He's
him.
on the Mets now, which is one of the
Right.
reasons I don't like the Mets that much.
Right. They did not sign Mike Moustakas either.
No,
To play
he's
third
still
base.
unsigned, which is baffling to me.
Okay. They are going with the kid, who they think can hit a little bit, in Andahar. They are not making a big commitment at third base. Do you think there is a reason for that?
Probably.
Okay. Do you think that it's possible in the end of July, if Andahar is not getting the job done, and Torres cannot adequately replace him, and any other fool that they bring in to play third base doesn't do the job? Do you not think that they're going to be giving Toronto or Baltimore a call for Donaldson or Machado? And do you not think that they're going to probably go after one of those two guys big time next
They
fall?
probably are. And guess what? They're going to get him over the Phillies because the Phillies aren't being aggressive and
if
they're
you're-
sitting on their hands
and if
doing
you're-
absolutely nothing to improve their baseball team.
And again, this isn't a New York Philadelphia thing, guys. But if you're Manny Machado, okay, and
Why would you sign with the Phillies when you can sign with the New York Yankees?
if
the
money,
mecca of
if the
baseball.
money,
The richest
is the same,
tradition in all of baseball.
if the money is the same,
You're not coming to the
and you have
sillies.
a team, and you have a team that has Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, Giancarlo Stanton on their team, what lineup are you going to want to play on? I mean, where do you think you have the best chance to
Not
win?
the Phillies.
Not right now, no. Not unless they do something to entice some of these guys to want to come.
What are they supposed to do at this point? There's pitchers they can sign.
Go get some pitching. I mean,
Brad, I've been screaming about it for
it's-
how many months with
No,
this
I know
guy?
you have.
He doesn't do anything.
yeah,
He's
no.
terrible. I hate Matt Clintack.
You know what? If
Awful.
I keep hearing that
He's approaching Brett Brown hatred for me. Brett Brown level hatred for me.
but
And
Brett
you know
Brown,
how much I hate Brett
I know,
Brown.
but Brett Brown was in here as the sacrificial lamb. When they're ready to win
Doesn't
a
mean he's a
championship.
good coach.
Yeah, but
He
Rob,
frustrates
when
me.
they're ready to win a championship, they're going to get another coach. You know that. I
I
think
wouldn't even say I hate Brett Brown or Matt Klintak. Those are strong words. They frustrate me a
you
lot.
dislike them intensely.
They frustrate me a lot.
Kind of like
I
Jerry
wanna-
Reese. Kind of like Jerry Reese frustrated
Correct.
me a lot. Okay,
But
thank you.
What's the thinking of not doing anything to improve this baseball team when
And
second
what is
place
your payroll
there
right
for the
now?
taking?
60 million? I mean, are you kidding me?
You give
How can
3
you have
years, $60 million to Carlos Santana,
How
who's
can
a
you-
nice player. Carlos Santana,
He's a very
nice
nice
player.
But you have a $60 million payroll right now. You're telling me that you can't I mean, for God's sake, you can't have a $100 million payroll in Philadelphia? Philadelphia
apparently not.
Philadelphia is not Milwaukee. It's not Kansas City. You guys can listen. The fans will show up
Milwaukee
if
just
you
gave
put.
5 years, $85 million to Lorenzo Cain, who's 31 years old, because they're going for it.
Yeah, why not? Listen, you know what? You need to go out there and get aggressive. Listen, you basically, I think the Phillies have almost everything in place as far as their regular everyday players.
You know,
They're
that's
pretty
a,
much-
that's
They're pretty much
that's a little
set.
bit of a stretch. They're
they're
really
set pretty
solid.
well.
They're solid.
I mean, listen, if you compare them to other
Their
teams in the
everyday-
league, their
their-
everyday lineup is very
their
competitive.
starting eight is fine.
It's very competitive.
fine.
Very
I
competitive.
like Herrera. Nick Williams did some good things.
You're going to
All
be very
fair
strong.
if he ever stays healthy, man. He's got Jason Worth.
Hernandez is good.
Cesar Hernandez. Why is he still on the team? Why can't you trade him for pitching? You got Scott Kingery, who's a top 100 prospect in baseball, who's knocking on the
Well, that
doorstep.
might, you know what, Rob?
It makes no sense.
That might happen though.
J.P. Crawford, he's going to get a shot at shortstop. Freddie Galvis is gone. That's fine. I saw him do enough nice things to give him a chance. Mike Alfranco is lost at third.
But you know what? Maybe he can bounce back.
God willing.
He's still young.
He is still young.
I mean, listen, he's not a 35-year-old player.
He's not. But
Like
he was,
like a certain team in Queens who goes out and gets 35-year-old players who have bad years. The odds of, if you ask me, who's got a better chance to bounce back and be a good player this year, Adrian Gonzalez or Mikey Alfranco?
Oh, it's obviously Franco. Adrian
Okay.
Gonzalez was a premier first
Okay.
baseman in his day.
That's my point. The guy is, 24, 25
Mike
years old?
Alfranco hit 208 last
He
year.
had a bad year.
That's worse than a bad year.
Rob, how did Aaron Hicks do 2 years ago? He had 202.
Okay, but Aaron Hicks is not
Aaron Hicks
being
hit,
groomed to be the savior of the franchise, to be the four-hitter for the next 10 years for any team ever.
but he hit 16 home runs last year and 300 at-bats last year. All I'm saying is you can have a bad year and bounce back.
It's not a fair comparison, Brad, because
But they're
Franco,
the same kind of player.
he's
both
the
5-tool
crown
players.
jewel. He comes up, has a great year, and we're supposed to have all these farm guys coming in behind him, and then Franco goes out last year and hits 208.
He's got to bounce back. You know, you got to look for him to bounce back. It's going to be important.
I
for that
can't
to happen.
assume that after what I saw
Well,
last year.
you can't assume anything, but you're gonna. But
He stunk.
I agree. But you know what? You got to give him. He's still young. You got to at least. They're going to open up the year with him. Right now, your needs. If you're.
I don't know that he's not penciled in by any means to start at third base.
If you're going
By
into
no
the
means.
season, though, you're the first guy that you're going
If
to
I
get.
had to fill out my lineup card for opening day right now based on what's on this roster, Michael Franco is on the bench.
Okay.
I'm
Who's
throwing
playing third?
Cesar Hernandez at third, Kingery at second, Crawford at short, Santana at first.
Wouldn't you like to see Kingery have a good preseason?
No, because Franco's that bad last year. Unless he goes and hits 500 in spring training,
which could happen.
I'm not betting on it.
Listen, you know what? A lot of times.
And you got
these
Hoskins,
guys,
Herrera, and Williams
listen,
out there.
You've got
Hoskins is a beast.
your lineup, in my opinion, as a National League lineup. You got a pretty good lineup.
It's
can
decent.
score.
I think you're overvaluing it a bit.
I think you could score enough. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem you have right now is you've got to get a couple of starters. I mean, unless you think Eichhoff and Vince Velasquez are going to come back.
Good point by John right there. Michael Franco, he got suspended in the Dominican Winter League for being a jerk.
Yeah, he did. I know he did.
That doesn't do anything to ease my nerves that he's going to have a good year this year. Acting like a clown in winter ball when you're supposed to be busting your ass and getting better.
Okay, now we're talking about Machado coming to Philly. It's not going to happen. Trout coming to Philly, maybe in a few years. but not right now. At 208 worked for Adam Dunn, yeah, but he hit 50 home runs. Let's see. What else do we have here? Does Noah Syndergaard win the Cy Young if healthy?
He could.
He could. He's that good. I would agree with that. Yeah, of course. And let's see what else we got. He will want more money and be. Oh, Mike Trout. He'll be want more money and be close to Millville. You guys are going to sit here and start singing about Mike Trout. If the Angels are a good team,
Mike Trout is not coming to a 70-win fucking baseball team, Philadelphia.
I hate
get
to
a
tell you
clue.
this. I hate to
get
tell you
a
this.
clue.
He would listen. Mike Trout. If you guys have a real good team, and the Angels stink, he might think about coming back here. But you know what? If you can go out and play in Los Angeles on the West Coast with that weather and with that team, and they're going to be a good team this year, make no bones about it. He's not. They're not. First of all, they're not going to trade him. You're going to have to wait for him to be a free agent. What does he have? 2 or 3 more years?
Yeah.
I mean, they extended
it's 2021.
Yeah, they extended him. That pipe dream is going to go on for a long time. And I got news for you. Bryce isn't going to sign with you guys either if you don't get some players on this team.
Yeah. Bryce Harper.
Bryce
Who
is
knows
a good.
what's going to happen with that?
Yeah, I know, but if they're counting on Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's not coming here unless you guys have some players on your team. You guys have got to do something here. I think Clentak. You know what? This is such an opportunity. Let's see. We have some comments here. Have a clue why the Phillies can never improve. You never know. Let's see. You want the Mets trade. You want the Mets to trade Matt Harvey for who?
Yeah, who are you gonna get? Who do you get from Matt Harvey?
What do
Matt
you get?
Harvey's a clown.
Matt Harvey's got to prove himself with the Mets before anybody would even want him. Mike Trout
He had
is
that
not
big surgery too, that thoracic outlet syndrome surgery.
I mean, yeah. Now Sixers JT, we don't want Bryce. He's a knucklehead. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, I'll take
JT,
Bryce Harper
you
on
know
my
something?
team any day
You know
of
what?
the week.
He may be a knucklehead. but you know what?
Perennial MVP.
Let me tell you something.
candidate.
As a Yankee fan, if he wants to come and be a knucklehead, he can be my center fielder every day too. That doesn't mean we're going to get him, but you know what? If you're saying you don't want Bryce Harper on your team, you're just being foolish.
Yeah,
Okay?
I'll take Bryce Harper.
If you
Any day
can
of the
make
week.
if you can make the numbers work and your payroll is where it should be, and you bring in a couple of players and you have a chance to have a guy like that want to come to your team, you will be sending the limos and the escort service out to meet Bryce Harper and bring him to your place. Okay,
The Sixers have beaten the Knicks, Brad, 108-92. Sixers have not lost at home since December 21st.
and their record now.
29-25.
Let's see. So they would have to be 23-7.
They're going to win 40 games. There's
23 and 7 to win 50 games.
They're not going to.
No, I'm sorry. They're gonna. I can't add that. No, they're gonna have to be 21-9 to win 50 games.
They're not going to win 50 games.
That might be a
Too
stretch.
many. They win 40.
47 maybe. I
God
can see
willing.
47.
God willing.
Listen, yeah, you know what? I
hope.
I think they're a good
All
team.
for it.
They win a lot of road games. You know, I mean, yeah, they do. Sometimes they will baffle you with losing to teams that they shouldn't lose against. But you know what? That's what young teams do. They lose games that they should never lose. You know, I mean,
Since
it
the Eagles
happens.
won the Super Bowl, Philly sports are undefeated.
Yeah,
That is a true fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact. But
we
you know,
haven't even gotten into
I
any
wouldn't
of the-
say I wouldn't say anything too much though, because you don't want to really jinx them.
Who cares? You with your jinxes. I'm not even worried about it.
Don't jinx them.
Let's get into the Flyers though, because we got the NHL trade deadline.
It's
fast
looming.
approaching.
It's let's see. Today's the 12th, so it's 2 weeks.
Flyers are riding
today.
high. The
Flyers
Rangers
are
are
in
in
third
shambles.
place.
The Western Conference is out of control. Hockey's starting to really get fun for you hockey fans out there. Columbus is taking a nosedive. The Devils and the Hurricanes.
The Devils have lost 5 in a row, by the way.
Right, but they're
Speaking of
still in a
nosedives.
wild card spot.
Speaking of nosedives, the Devils are in a major nosedive right now.
4 in a row. I have
4 in
it
a row.
right
Okay,
here,
I thought it was 5. I thought last night's loss made it 5 in a row.
3-7 in their last 10,
Yeah,
so
they've
not
been-
going in the right
No,
direction.
they've been
But
struggling.
we got some red hot teams here in the NHL.
Colorado's
What did I tell you?
Colorado's cooled off.
What did I tell you before you went to Hawaii about the Penguins?
Well,
they're going to be right there.
Of course they
the
are.
Penguins.
Of course they are.
7-2-1 in their last 10 games. Finally have a goal differential in the green side of things.
Well, I mean, they got too much talent to not be there. I mean, if you really thought that the Penguins weren't gonna be a factor, I mean, you're just kidding yourself. I mean, as far as the Flyers are concerned,
can they do anything at the deadline to help this team win?
yeah, they can.
What can they do?
They can bring in a veteran defenseman, and they can get another.
Who can they get though, and how much would it cost them? Do you have any names?
Well,
Mr.
I don't
Hockey?
think. I don't think that they would be trading with they'd be trading with the Rangers, but I do know Ryan McDonough's available, and he'd be available for a year and a half.
I'd love to have Ryan McDonough on the
But
Flyers.
they're gonna
That'd be
want the kitchen sink. They're gonna want a first
well,
round pick.
I mean, I think Ron Hextall's been pretty
Yeah,
entrenched in his strategy that
yeah,
he's
I don't think
wants
that the
to fill in
Flyers,
around the kids,
I
not
don't
give the
know.
kids
Yeah,
away.
I don't know that. I mean,
Is there a goalie out there this team can get?
a goalie. Well, there's. Yeah, actually, there is. I mean, let's see. I can go through a lot of these teams. I mean, I'm sure the Edmonton would be willing to trade Cam Talbot, although I don't know what kind of an upgrade he would be.
Cam Talbot's been in the playoffs before, though, correct?
Yeah, he was in the playoffs last year. But I mean, is he that much better than Elliott? I mean, I don't know. What about Varlamov on the Avalanche? I mean, he's always a possibility. I mean, I think Dubnyk, I believe this is his walk year. Although I don't know that Minnesota would give up on their season. As far as in our conference goes, I mean, I'll give you a name that I think you could definitely look at, and that's the guy on the Senators, Anderson.
Craig Anderson?
Craig Anderson. Would you take him?
Sure.
When he gets hot, he gets hot.
Yeah, but you say that about any goalie in professional hockey.
But I mean, he's a guy that I think you guys could get. I think Craig Anderson would be eminently available. As far as a defenseman, would you try to get a guy? Would you try to make the attempt, or would you ask about the defenseman on Ottawa? Carl, what the hell's his last name?
Yeah, I would. Anyone who can help them win.
Yeah, I mean, there's because the Senators. I mean, the Senators have some talent on their team, and I think the Senators would absolutely would be making some moves. But
because hockey's by far the most out of bounds bonkers playoff system in the whole thing. Every year the top seeds go down, and some wild card team that no one expected just makes a run to the finals. So, if you can make a smart move or two here at the deadline, if you're Ron Hextall, why can't the Flyers make a run? Couturier's out of his mind.
They can make a run.
Giroux was the player of the week in the NHL last week.
Here's my question, though.
Can't believe my eyes.
Here's my question, though, and this is the question that probably Hextall has to answer. Okay, if the Flyers go out and make that big move, let's say for the sake of argument, they get the guy in Ottawa, the defenseman, okay, or they get McDonough on the Rangers, a guy like that, okay, or they get like a Evander Kane or a Rick Nash. Would that enable them to beat a team like the Penguins in the first round of the playoffs, or the Capitals?
I wouldn't bet on it, but maybe
or the
you're
Lightning.
closer.
Or the Lightning.
You're closer. Well, the Lightning are unbelievable this year.
Well, there's three. There's three teams that they could play this year. They're either
the
gonna
Blackhawks got swept in the first round of the playoffs last year. Nobody saw that coming.
But the Blackhawks were an aging team, and they're in last place this year. You could sort of see.
But my point being is wild cards come out of nowhere in the NHL playoffs.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. But the odds of Philly beating the Penguins or the Capitals or the Lightning, it's going to be. I mean, that's the thing. Do you think it's worth taking a shot? Do you think you can beat those three teams?
I mean, I'm always taking a shot.
Oh no, I know you are. I'm just wondering if they're going to deal. And I don't think there's any way in God's name that the Rangers would ever trade McDonough to the Flyers, because they're not going to want to watch McDonough in the playoffs and have to deal with him for the next year and a half. So I don't know that that's going to happen. But if you get a guy like that, Okay, do you really want? Do you really think that they're going to be able to beat him? Because that's what you have to evaluate. Can a guy like that put the Flyers over the top and get past the Penguins or the Capitals?
I mean,
that's. I mean, if you think they can,
probably not. But you're closer.
well, if you get it, let's put it this way: if you get a guy like McDonough, then you have him for next year too, and he's only making $4.7 million, so you can afford. He fits on a team's salary cap. Okay, that's the thing about it. That's what makes him worth the money. Now, the guy that I was talking about on the Senators is Erik Karlsson, who is bar none one of the great defensemen in the game, and I know Ottawa has been looking at possibly trading him.
Yeah, but he's going to cost you a lot.
But he could be the difference. He is see. I don't know that McDonough is a difference maker that where you could possibly, come up and shock the Penguins.
Erik Karlsson is a game changer. He's one of the best defensemen in the whole league.
Exactly, but that's the kind of guy you should try to get because you know what?
Right, but
Erik Karlsson.
I'm saying that
Erik Karlsson is eminently available. Okay,
right.
I mean, if you take a look,
I'm saying I don't
here,
think Hextall is going to give up the prospects necessary to get a guy like Erik Karlsson.
But that's the kind
the
of
Flyers
guy.
make a move, then it's going to be like a low level.
I know.
Like,
I'll tell you one team that is really in on Erik Karlsson is the LA Kings right now. Seems
they
like
need
they're
him.
yeah there are some guys now. What about Bobby Ryan?
Bobby Ryan.
Bobby Ryan
great.
is
He's from Cherry Hill.
Exactly. Bobby Ryan is a guy that they're looking to trade. Dion Phaneuf is a guy that they're looking to trade. Brassard. I mean, there's a lot of guys in that team. I mean, they're going to be cleaning house. So that's one team for sure. The Rangers, they're going to be probably trading Nash, Zuccarello, Grabner,
So they're dumping.
and McDonough. Those are guys that are probably going to be getting rid of. Anderson would be an interesting goalie for you to get. He's a guy that I mean, he brought the Senators last year to the to Game 7 of the third round of the playoffs last year, of the semifinals against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I mean, Ottawa almost beat them. I mean, could Hextall find a way to perhaps make a blockbuster and bring in Karlsson and Anderson and take a run at it? I mean, Anderson would only be for this year, but Karlsson signed for a while. I mean, you don't have to worry about him. He's already been extended. Can you bring those two guys in? I think Karlsson is a guy that could make a difference. Frank, what do you think about that? Do you think Karlsson could make a difference for the Flyers against a team like the Penguins?
It could be done.
How would you like to have Karlsson and Gostisbehere as your point guys on the power play?
That'd be nice.
Okay, well, that's my point. If you're gonna make it, if the Flyers want to make a trade, you want to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Washington Capitals or the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, the guy to get is Erik Karlsson because the Senators want to get rid of him. They don't want to pay him. They know that they're going to stink for a while. They made some real dumb trades. The Matt Duchene trade blew up in their face. Kyle Torres is kicking butt down in Nashville, and now they're sucking wind with Matt Duchene. So that didn't work out for them. And you know what? Now they're left with a bunch of old players, and they're not going to win. Dion Phaneuf is a defenseman. He's a nice player, but he is not the kind of guy that's going to get you to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Washington Capitals, or the Tampa Bay Lightning. Dion Phaneuf is the guy that makes the big mistake and the big point at the big time of the game. That's why Toronto got rid of him. So that's your guy, Rob. You want to make a serious bid at a play and you want to A, make the playoffs, and B, get out of the first round and
I'm pretty confident
player?
that the Flyers can make the playoffs as is because Corey Schneider's out another couple weeks for the Devils.
Absolutely,
they've been leaking water. They're 3-7 in their last.
They're
10.
losing. The Flyers, the Blue Jackets don't have.
The Blue Jackets
don't have Cam. Don't have their leading scorer. They don't have Werenski. I mean,
the Rangers don't scare me
with
all their injuries.
The Rangers with all their injuries right now. I know they've won 2 in a row, and I know that was a big win yesterday in Winnipeg. But I would be shocked if the Rangers are able to get themselves back in it. I mean,
they're only 1 point out of the playoffs.
Actually, 2, I think. I think it's 2 now. Yeah, I think they have 59 points on.
59 points, 61 points for the Hurricanes, so 2 points. Yes.
There. I mean, the Rangers. Yeah, but I mean, I think.
The Islanders can score, but I mean.
Yeah, but they also have probably the worst defense in the league.
The
Islanders.
Their differential's terrible.
The Islanders. In case you haven't heard me say it before, I'm going to say it again for those of you who like to drop the occasional wager. If you bet the Islanders in the over every night, then you will make sure that you win every game. Because the Islanders usually, if the line is if the line's 5 or 6, usually the Islanders are good for getting the 5.
TJ McConnell with a triple-double tonight, Frank. Brad.
Wow.
Triple-double for TJ McConnell.
So obviously nobody was covering him.
For TJ McConnell to get triple-double against you, that's
he's the one. He's the one that they obviously he played a great game. I mean, look, the Knicks right now are what they are. I mean, without Porzingas, it's really pretty hopeless for them right now. They're going to be they're going to be taking a look at Franck, and they're going to be looking at Moutier, and they're going to try to develop these guys and see if they can get a point guard. Without Porzingas, there's no way the team can be competitive. They were struggling with them. And without him, there's really nobody. They just don't have a guy. They don't have a guy right now who you can go to beat you. I mean, Cantor's a nice player, and Hardaway's a nice player, but they're not Porzingis. And as I said, even when they had him, they weren't exactly lighting the world on fire. They're a team that still needs a point guard, and hopefully, with Moutier playing every night and Ntilikina playing every night, and hopefully they give some of the other guys a shot, some of the young guys a shot. Hopefully some of these guys can merge, and then they'll get a good draft pick, and we'll see. But they're not going to be good next year either. I mean, the Knicks should be looking at 2019, 2020, because that's when they really have a chance to be good again. Unfortunately, that is the case. Why don't we turn our attention to college basketball, Rob? Because that's something I know you wanted to get into.
Absolutely.
Before the night's over.
I mean, you heard it. I'm going to say it right now. Villanova is the best team I've seen all year. I think they're going to win the national championship. I think Jalen Brunson should win College Basketball Player of the Year. They had a little blip on the radar this week. They lost at home to St. John's, but St. John's beating everybody these days. It's a shame they went 0-11 in the Big East to start off.
They didn't show up for the first half of the season,
right?
And then
which is a problem.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they beat Duke and Villanova
in the same week.
Yeah.
Number 1 and number 4. But I mean, Villanova, they can do it all. I think they have just enough big men to get it done in March. Mari Spellman's a redshirt freshman who's been cleaning up the boards. Pascal missed the game on Sunday. Or the Saturday, excuse me. He has a concussion, but he'll be back. Phil Booth should be back. He broke his hand.
What's Villanova's record now? What do they have, 3 losses?
They have 2.
2, okay.
2 losses. They lost to Butler on the road, and they lost to St. John's at home. So they're both in conference play.
Okay. Well, conference games are always hard.
I'd put Michigan State. They have a very good team.
Virginia was ranked 2 until they lost. Did they go down?
They went down in overtime to unranked Virginia Tech.
Unranked
61-60.
I mean, I know they lost. That's what I'm saying. Did they go down?
But they were number 1 today.
Virginia's number 2. I think Nova's still number 1.
They're still number 2. I thought they may have gone down because they lost that game to Virginia
Tech.
Tech.
Yeah. I thought AP.
Let me check.
No, Virginia's number 1. I have it right here.
All right, Virginia's number 1.
Virginia's number 1.
In the Associated Press, yeah. I might have read some other poll then. I don't know.
The USA Today poll.
USA Today has Villanova at 2, Michigan State at 1. The RPI poll. Yeah, Virginia's at 1.
I don't like Virginia even a little bit.
I'm not a fan of Virginia.
They can't score.
No, they
can never score.
How do you like Cincinnati this year?
They're really good.
Yeah, they've
definitely turned a lot of heads.
They're a more athletic version
they have
a lot of surprising teams in this poll this year. It's pretty fascinating.
I don't trust Duke even a little bit. I think UNC is just super overrated.
Yeah.
Michigan State's really good. I mean, is Purdue going to make a Final Four and a national champion? I don't know
think
that.
Isn't Purdue ranked number 3?
Purdue is.
They're very
in
good.
In the AP poll, they're number 6 right now.
Okay,
Xavier-
they were way up
23 and 3.
Xavier is
number 4.
also a team that I like a lot. They could win it all. Xavier could definitely win the whole thing.
Let me ask you a question because we have a few local teams that you're the college basketball guy, okay?
Yeah.
Temple in the NCAA tournament.
No.
If they win they have to win it, so they have to win their
Winning
tournament.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Any
They have
of
to
the
beat
other
Wichita State and Cincinnati are in their conference.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So
No
that's
wonder.
not going to
Yeah.
happen.
No, Wichita State's good too.
No, they were kicking around the bubble according to Joe Lunardi in the middle of the season there, but they just they
Any
need some
other
recruiting classes.
Any other local teams?
Penn's looking strong to
Penn-
win the Ivy League.
Yeah, Penn could have a chance to win the Ivy League.
The Ivy League always gives teams fits in the
Ivy
NCAA tournament.
The Ivy League does have a conference tournament this year, though.
Do they? Okay.
They had one last year as well.
Yeah,
so
I think it's like the top 4 teams or something that go into the tourney for the Ivy League. I'm not sure.
Penn will be in that. They'll probably be the 1
Yeah.
seed in that. They lost to Harvard the other night, though, so we'll see how that affects there. And then the other teams, Drexel, St. Joe.
Drexel, they're out of the running
Drexel's
right
horrible.
now. St. Joe's haven't been great.
No, they're
Okay.
so it's Nova or nothing.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Then you added
Penn might make it, but
the New Jersey and New York teams. I think we can pretty much say Rutgers is done.
Rutgers is improving though. They're a tough out in the Big Ten.
Surprisingly,
they're doing better than we thought. They're
Yeah.
doing better than we thought, but they're not making the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean Seton Hall has some nice players, but I don't really consider them much of a threat. St. John's has
to win out.
St. John's looks like the best of the New York teams, but
They have to win out though.
it's a really weak bubble this year. So I mean,
Ryder's in a good position right now. They're first in the MAAC.
What about Hofstra?
Hofstra.
Hofstra always seems to be right there every year.
Yeah, let's see what the team
Hofstra
formerly known as the Dutchman
the other
has been
teams,
doing.
Yeah, the other 2 teams I would wonder about in New York are if you can look them up, Iona and Hofstra.
Oh yeah. All right. So I'm in the NAAC.
Yeah, what are we looking at?
Iona, they are 16-11, fourth in the conference right now.
so no.
Probably not. Then.
Probably not unless they make a good run. Let me see. Hofstra. Let me go to the.
Hofstra always has a good team, but they're in a
Yeah,
horrible division. But they always make
Hofstra
it
could do
close.
something. I haven't really been following my.
Another
they're fourth in the CAA right
Another
now.
thing,
Okay.
when you're filling out your brackets this week, fade the Big 12. It's such average basketball. They knock each other around. West Virginia's not that good.
Kansas been knocking themselves around.
Kansas,
Texas Tech.
Kansas is not
Kansas
that good.
just got their brains
Texas
beaten.
Tech is the most intriguing because they have upperclassmen.
Yeah.
Didn't Kansas just get destroyed by
By
Baylor?
Yeah.
I mean,
destroyed by Baylor. Yeah, that's not good.
Baylor's 14-10 now. Do they have a shot to get in?
I mean, they could be a bubble team at the moment
maybe,
right now.
but, I mean, Oklahoma State. Maybe one game for these Big 12 teams, but I'm not having them go far at all.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, I mean, Trae Young's unbelievable, but they're super overrated. Kansas is overrated. West Virginia is overrated.
What about Wichita State? Because they've been looking pretty good.
Wichita State, haven't dove into them as much as I probably should
Yeah,
have yet.
I thought this team could be the potential
'Cause they
that
seem to be-
mid-major that could make a very
They
good
seem
You know, the
tournament run.
mid-major that's got serious Final Four potential. Nevada. You heard it here
Ooh,
first.
I heard
Nevada.
I'm hearing Nevada.
Is
I
a
really
good
like.
team. You want to talk about locks with the bookie? Nevada at home every time.
Here's another
Every
team
time.
I'm looking at.
No.
Rhode Island. Rhode Island.
I've fallen in that.
This team, the Rhode Island squads
Yeah,
that I'm
but
looking
I've-
at, they could make a very good run.
They always seem to be the
I've fallen
heartbreaker
into
every year.
fallen into that trap with Rhode Island before.
Them
It's
and-
cost me.
Well,
Between them
I did pick Rhode Island
Between
to
them and Providence, they'll break
go-
your hearts every time.
to go forward last year, but I had them go for a Sweet 16 run last year. They have the potential to do that. It's
Telling you,
just getting the
Nevada,
right players.
The Wolf Pack of Nevada.
Hmm.
They play out of Reno.
Didn't they just play?
UNR.
Didn't they just play UNLV?
Yeah, they
UNLV
They
Yeah,
walloped them, right?
Yeah,
I thought they won against UNLV.
They did.
They
won
walloped
by
them.
30. It was
Huh.
a 5.5 point spread.
Yeah,
because
they
they were at home.
They spanked them. Okay, so there's another.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Count them.
Huh.
Yeah, at home every
Right
time.
then.
Nevada. They
Gotcha.
Really good team.
Okay, guys. So now you have from Rob Nevada at home, And from Brad, you have the Islanders, and you take the over every time the Islanders play. You don't have to work anymore. Just make these bets. That'll be your weekly income.
Make sure they're at home, Nevada.
Right.
It's not a lot of the season's pretty much over. Not a lot of home games left, but they're at home.
Man.
Nevada got them.
I don't remember the last time when Nevada was great. Man.
They're good. They're a good team.
They're good. They're good this year. I'm impressed.
UNLV's not slouches, and they clowned UNLV on
they
Saturday
beat
night.
the daylights out of them last week.
Yeah,
this past weekend.
Unbelievable.
I watched a little college basketball this weekend.
You got to bone up. You're the defending champ in the bracket pool. Somehow. Because you copied all my upset picks.
No, you just told me who to bet, and I
No,
listened to you.
you told me you copied my bracket pretty much, and you won.
I couldn't copy your bracket. I didn't have your.
All of a sudden, Rob has Wisconsin over Nova in the second round. Let me put that one too to take away all his bonus.
Well,
that one negated all my bonus points, Frank. Anyway, that'll do it on Sports Hounds this week. We'll be back, same time, same place, same crew next Monday, 8 to 10. Have a good week, everybody.